Good morning, Soldier Boy here, and welcome back to Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, livestream number 3. Now, good morning Minecraft, how are you? So yesterday we really managed to get our teeth into Assassin's Creed Remastered. We carried on as Hyphen from where we left off for our opening stream, and we discovered, spoiler if you haven't played, Hyphen is a Templar. And we then moved on to being a young Connor before then seeing Connor grow up. The game itself, although graphically obviously it's not going to be on par with the current generation of games, the storyline is really intriguing. And if you haven't played it yourself, I think there's a lot more to come, a lot more twists and turns within the game itself. So it should be good fun. So this is our main live stream playthrough currently while we wait on Siege of Paris for Assassin's Creed Valhalla to release. The release date is the 12th of August currently. Good Minecraft, I'm glad you're good. The usual thing, I've got to fill in the usual YouTube side, which will take me a couple of seconds, and then we shall crack on and see how much we can get done today. But today will be a normal 4-hour stream. I know yesterday's was a bit all over the place, but today will be a normal 4 hours. Good morning, Lisa. How are you? I'm not too bad this morning, thank you. Lacking sleep, but other than that, I'm good. Looking forward to getting back into this. There's something about it that just is drawing me in so much at the minute. I don't know if it's because I don't remember playing it many years ago, or it's just the game itself is just pulling me in, and I just want to keep going. That's that. I'll answer chat in a second. I'm just finishing off the YouTube side, and I just can't quite see chat. It's just slightly covered, but give me 2 seconds, and I'll be able to. And I'll catch up. This is why, as soon as I get the insurance money sorted, my accident, I will be buying a capture card. Because it solves all this issue. I won't have to fill this in at the start of the stream, I can do it in advance. Make life a lot easier. Done. So you think you'll complete Assassin's Creed before the 12th? I don't know, to be honest. I don't want to say yes or no, mainly because I just, honestly, I don't know. I don't know how long it takes. I don't know how in-depth it is. Obviously, I try not to ruin it for myself, so I don't actually look in advance to find out about trophies and things like that. Realistically, I'd hope so, because I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as big as the RPG eras. And we're looking at what, 70 odd hours for Origins, the smallest one. So I would like to think possibly. But if not, we'll come back to it. It's not a problem. And then we've got this decision to make whether we delay the Witcher playthrough and play through all the Assassin's Creeds instead. That's a big decision to make. The channel update goes live this afternoon at 3 o'clock. I managed to film yesterday, and for once I've managed to keep it quite short and sweet. Normally I rabbit on about random things, but I've actually managed to do a decent one this time that doesn't just go off on a tangent. Which is always a good thing. Alright, this is the bit where I can't talk and type, which is ridiculous. For those that aren't in the Discord, the plan for this week I did put in there. Basically, today is obviously Assassin's Creed 3. Tonight will be Assassin's Creed Valhalla Mastery Challenges. We're going to carry on with those and see if we can get a few more done. I'm not holding my breath because I know how difficult they are. What have we got after Mastery Challenges? I'm trying to think now. Tomorrow, more Assassin's Creed 3 in the morning, followed by tomorrow evening we're going to do some Avengers, get ready for the War of Wakanda update that comes out on the 17th of August. And then Thursday morning, Assassin's Creed 3, normal time. And then Thursday evening is Valhalla Mastery Challenges once more. If we don't, we're not going to get them finished tonight. Guaranteed we're not. But we'll give it a go. I'm nearly done typing different things. I get moaned at by people that own certain Discord channels because I don't ever put when I'm live streaming and they keep wanting to jump in. But today's a normal 4-hour stream. And we'll see how much we can get done. We're currently about 6 hours in. And because I don't know how long the game is, I can't really say how much we're going to get done and when. We're 13% in, and we've played... Oh, is that all? How is that right? That worries me now. That says we've played 4 hours and 4 minutes. We did a 4-hour stream yesterday, and we did a 2-hour stream the day before. That worries me. I hope I haven't lost 2 hours worth of gameplay. This is the problem with autosaves. And this is why I don't like autosaves, because you never know where it's going to save. Yesterday we learned how to hunt as Connor, or as Super Columby had great fun in trying to get me to pronounce his indigenous name. The time looked correct, really? We did a 2-hour stream when we started in the evening, and a 4-hour stream yesterday. That's 6 hours, no? I might be saying the wrong thing, to be fair. I'm not a fan of let's pet the animal while we chat. I'm not a fan of auto-saving. It worries me a lot. Okay. I like the fact he's got his Stone Tomahawk. Combo 1, speed 9, damage 1. It's not very high damage. Right. We left this yesterday. Let's have a look at the map while we're here. We left yesterday. We are in the frontier. We're in our village. Yeah, no, that looked right. It just said the amount of time was only 4 hours. And I'm like, well, we've streamed for 6. And I don't do that bigger chatting at the start, surely. But it could just be me seeing it wrong, I'm not sure, to be fair. I'm assuming feathers are collectibles, judging by they're around. I don't know what the trophy is there. Peg leg trinket, I don't know what that is. So lots of things, because I don't look into things in advance, I don't really know what a lot of it is. We'll figure it out as we go. We've seen the shop say there's new things all the time going in the shop. I've got no money, not anymore, as we're not high from anymore. And these are collectibles so far, the feathers. Before it seemed a bit short. Maybe to stop the clock in the pause menu and cutscenes. Possibly. My concern wasn't the time it said we stopped, because that was correct. It was the 4 hours. Knowing we've streamed for 6, I could understand if it was like 5:30, because that would allow for the starting the streams and all that kind of stuff. But it was the fact it said 4. I'm like, well, we're streamed for 6, so I've lost 2 hours seems odd. But we are in the right place. This is the right part of the game, so it kind of makes sense. What I wanted to see, because your inventory is actually here, I wanted to see, right, So we've got 2 deer pelts in perfect condition. We've got 2 deer hearts, deer marrow, 2 venison, deer tail, 3 fox pelts in perfect condition, foxtail hair, 3 hair pelts in perfect condition, and a rabbit's foot. Quite a few bits, trade items. Obviously we have no money at this point, but we'll start off by going to the next mission in the frontier. It's quite a weird place. I know it's a camp. I know they've rebuilt after a fire, which is what we experienced yesterday. I suppose I'm just not used to it. We started off in Boston, and Boston was quite a built-up area. Good morning, Keller. How are you? Thank you for the likes. Much appreciated. Like I say, the channel update is live at 3 o'clock this afternoon. For those that want to have a look. Right, what do we have to do now? We learned how to hunt yesterday. We learned that Hytham possibly is our father. And we learned that mother died in a fire and Charles Lee needs to die. That's what we learned yesterday. Just woke up. Good morning, gaming. How are you? You might buy FIFA 21. You're joining Keller, are you? Right, what do we have to do about the fire? I'm glad I've got subtitles on. I'd have no clue what they're saying otherwise. Yeah, good point, Keller. Don't buy FIFA 21, maybe 22. I wouldn't. Thanks for the like, that was much appreciated. A village is on sacred grounds. So the indigenous people want the village to be hidden from the outside world. So he's questioning the elders' decision to stay back, not get involved with the British and the French. Wow. That's an apple of Eden. That's one of the orbs. That's what was missing from the doorway that they originally showed Hytham. Yeah, that got weird quickly.
Greetings, Guardian.
Juno.
Are you a spirit?
You may think of me as such.
Where am I?
You are where you were before. If you mean to ask what it is you now see, it is known as the Nexus. From here, probabilities are calculated so that the proper path may be chosen.
What path?
Yours.
Yeah, that was what was missing from the door that the indigenous people took Hytham to originally.
Follow me.
Avoid. There's a mission, I don't know what it is. Right, I'm following. I couldn't see what the mission was.
Selected a form familiar to your culture. It is designed to ease navigation.
Whoa.
We have waited millennia for your arrival. You, who will bring to him the last piece, that he may open the door.
I do not understand.
Nor need you. I sense my words cause pain. But such was not my intention. You are important, child. in more ways than you will ever know. As we speak, forces gather in secret, preparing to seize control of the land.
Avoid collisions in the air.
If
Was that
we
what it was? I
succeed,
couldn't quite see
the
it.
sanctuary will be breached.
The brightness of the sky stopped me being able to see it. Oh, man, I've done it. Avoid 2 collisions. Man, that's difficult. When the trees are all like that. I'm going to avoid 2 collisions. I've done 1.
Yours is a special lineage. Past, present, future. Many are connected to you. Many who have changed the world. Who will change the world.
Oh, flipping out. No,
So too
I've failed
shall
it.
you. I have called you here that you might know your duty. You must protect the sanctuary from those who would undo our work.
What sanctuary? What work?
Maintaining your current course will result in a negative outcome.
Oh, wow. Just a warning.
Premature access will destabilize the region. Your village and its people will be destroyed.
What am I to do?
You will learn of a man who will provide additional training. Seek this symbol. No doubt you have many questions.
The assassin symbol was the one we got to seek.
Answers. For now, you must follow.
I can't control this anymore. Wow. So we are going to have to go back and redo that at some point because I failed the mission. That's one of the ones to add to the list that we've got to go back and redo. As soon as the group of trees came together, I couldn't avoid them. But if we want to go for the platinum, we have to 100% we have to 100% synchronize every point. So she was telling us that we have to seek out the person with the assassin symbol. They will say his name soon. Oh, that's alright then. I'm calling him Connor anyway. I haven't got a choice at this point. Oh, if you want to say, his proper name. Oh yeah, I would like to know how to say it properly. But yeah, we're looking out for someone with the assassin symbol.
Radun hage dun got nue ni satka tuntiga gari wayarunitstun.
Adun heads wagena duni. What garo di rungwe daya jadatka. Ahagena dun hase o nio di akande. Tune tigaro nungwe. Easy na gahanda di tunas. Gari wesi wagaderiandere. Tanu ize gi oni. Arahaja diza detni go rizu ne dosa seri wayena.
I assume you've played this yourself then, Lisa. Do you remember much about it? I've never tried to even say the name. I just called him Connor. Yeah, I'm kind of along the same lines, to be fair. So the elders released us so we can leave the village. You remember a fair bit? Ah, good. It's always nice when you can remember the story. It means it actually, gave a meaning. Oh, so she's seen the symbol herself. Yama. Thank you. To the east is a man who bears the symbol.
Seria Sadoga, Nekti gets Hani, Sodzi Ezos are hard. Was Sezakane Gari Waironitstu, Satahatsari.
Yeah, a story that stays in your head a long time after playing. I like that because it means that it Heroes are Born trophy achieved, which is memory synced for number 4. It means it stands out. It means it, obviously got into your psyche a bit and you remember it all. You remember bits and pieces, the bits that stand out. I like that.
Leaving home was harder than I thought. I expected the journey would fill me with a sort of pride, a sense of accomplishment. But whatever it was that carried me away from home soon fled, replaced by questions, and no small amount of doubt.
So there's
Had
lots.
I been too hasty? Had I made a mistake?
So he's doubting himself.
The others in the village, they thought this was something I wanted, something I chose to do. But it never felt that way to me. No, it was not a choice. It was an obligation. Because if not me, then who?
Yeah, he's massively doubting his choice and what he's got to do. Thank you for the like, that was much appreciated. It now says Connor when you're actually over him, which is quite good, so we can call him Connor. What is that? Frontiersmen. I don't know what that is. There's lots of symbols on here, I've got no clue what they are. Which isn't a bad thing, because, hopefully it explains it as we go. We're heading to the Homestead now. We can fast travel. I don't know if we should fast travel or not. I'm kind of in two minds. Fast travel to the mission or go and discover it for ourselves. I don't think we've discovered any of this area. Obviously it is quicker if we fast travelled. The other thing I wanted to have a quick look at, recent events. Because we want to have a look at the Animus database, I want to have a look at recent entries and see if there is anything else. No, there's no recent entries. Locations are all Boston and stuff, so we can leave those for the time being. But I was just trying to keep up with the recent entries. So we've got to decide if we're going to fast travel there or go there ourselves. Part of me wants to fast travel because I just think it's easier, but then you never know what we're going to find by going there ourselves. And since this is all unexplored, right, what have we got weapon-wise now? So we've got a bow, we've got snares, and we've also got bait. And our weapon is a stone tomahawk. That's our current. But yeah, I don't know if on the map. Oh! I missed the second button. Draw a weapon out. I'm trying to get him to draw his weapon out. I'm nearly dead. Oh, I missed him down. I'm dead. I couldn't get him to draw his weapon out. Them quick time events are horrendous for speed wise. That was... Where are we now? So now we're a little bit further on from where we were. Because obviously we need to discover the map. Okay, draw weapon is that. Okay. I love the fact he plays with it. We need to discover the map, so I did consider fast travelling just to get there quicker, but at the same time we do want to see what the map is and what it has to offer. So we may as well explore on the way. Oh! By invitation only, trophy achieved. We'll have a look at recent entries, because that is kind of a load of different things for them. So we have come across, I don't know how, the New England Hunting Society. So this club was founded in 1770 by several trappers who earned their living in the area, including Simon Girty. The idea was to have cabins that would be a safe haven and warm place to rest for colonists who spent the season trapping in this part of the frontier. According to their records, as many as 24 hunters used the buildings at any one time. Although it originally started out as just a shared cabin space, it quickly evolved in a more formalised society. Human nature being what it is, hunters could brag about their kills around the fire and exaggerate. After the several brawls over who could claim the title of the mightiest hunter, Sarti members agreed to start logging their kills in writing. Though why they thought this would prevent people from lying is beyond me. It didn't. Sad, really. By the way, yesterday I caught a Velociraptor. I love Sean. I think it's fantastic. So we've come across the hunting lodge now. I'm assuming I can't see. I want to see. Right, the hunting society. Can I see it? Yes. So this is what we need to do for the hunting lodge if we want to progress in the hunting society. You've got to get back and grind in Witcher. Nice cat. So we've got to kill 5 deer, we've done 2. We need to kill a wolf, we need to skin 10 animals, we've done 8. We need to trade hunting spoils worth £500, we've done 0. We need to use bait with a snare to capture an animal 5 times and kill a bear with a hidden blade, but we don't have a hidden blade currently. So obviously that's an issue. So hopefully we will aim to do some of these. I don't know if the hunting chances are for a trophy. I would assume they are. At the minute though, although we've gained the mission, we haven't got a specific reason to do them all. We haven't spoke to anyone that said about it. And the other thing is we haven't got a hidden blade, so we can't kill a bear yet. But obviously if we see animals along the way, we may as well catch them as we go. I need to go across to go where we're going. There's something over there. What's that? That's a rabbit. I should have drew my bow. Analyze clues. So the clues are generally where animals are. We are a tracker. We are indigenous to this area. So there's a deer over here. Shall we kill the deer? Might as well while we're here. I think he missed the deer. Where's he gone? Oh, I've lost the deer. We killed the rabbit. So while we're on our travels, we should keep a lookout for animals. I tend to use reflex shot more than anything else. There's a deer there. How did I... reflex shot I thought was the best shot to have, but I tend to miss a lot with the reflex shot. Maybe I need to be doing it manually, maybe. Yeah, I think I'm going to try doing it a little bit more manually. The reticle for shooting is really small and it's difficult to actually see some of the times. Right, we are heading towards the mission, is actually where we're heading. I just thought we'd hunt along the way. But yeah, I'm using reflex shot a lot and I probably shouldn't, because I'm wasting arrows. You think they're too strong for quick shots? That's not a bad shout actually. That could be an issue. I hadn't thought of that. I just thought reflex shot worked previously. That deer's going to run away and I can't. Not quick enough. But yeah, I just thought we'd hunt along the way. Also, this is discovering all this on the map, which is always good for us. We are going to have to hunt to clear the missions anyway. This isn't a bad thing. The deer loved the bait last. That's the bait and takedown might be the best approach. That's not a bad shout, actually. Have to remember that. I know it did say on the Animus entries, didn't it? The database, it does tell you what's good and what's not. But we'll carry on with the story mainly at the minute anyway, because I think that's the important part. We have no money. That's one thing we don't have. What is that? Is that a travelling salesman? This is a shop. We have no money at the minute, but we can sell some of the pelts we've got. I don't think there's upgrading. I think they are due to be sold. Is he a travelling salesman? I've not seen one before, so I'm guessing. It's not stopping. Huh, that's quite cool. Hello again, Rafik. How are you? Yeah, he didn't. The travelling salesman didn't stop, so I don't know if we haven't unlocked it yet, or maybe he's aiming for a certain area. I don't know how we get more arrows either. I haven't seen any crafting. There is a red icon coming up. At least we're getting to explore. The map is opening up, so the map will only show up where you've been. That's one thing I've noticed. So along the river here. So there's lots to find, and as I say, I don't even know what the frontiersman is. That's kind of why we walked. And look at the view. You got to think this game originally came out in 2012. The views that Ubisoft can create are fantastic. That's an enemy there. Well, we've got no reason to kill anyone at this point. We don't know anything about the enemy. I just know it's an enemy because there's a red part on our mini-map. We have no reason to suddenly just attack random people, though. You could speak to him when he was moving. I was waiting for it to come up, but I couldn't. It didn't come up on the right-hand side. On the circle. Interaction is always circle, it seems. And I didn't notice it. But yeah, next time we see one, we'll try a little bit harder and be interesting to see what we do. I'm good. How are the... What's that last word, Rafik? How are the subscribers? But yeah, the quick time events with the animals are difficult. Yeah, it was light blue, so it's hard to see, I know. That is an issue, I've noticed.
Get out of the way!
Oh. Who's Achilles?
After him!
Okay. Achilles is obviously a Greek name. We're travelling to the Davenport Homestead. But yeah, the interaction button some of the time is very difficult to see because it's light, whereas the game itself, depending where you're looking at the time, is quite bright, and that is a bit difficult to see. Thank you for the like, Quiver, that was much appreciated. Yeah, so we're heading to Davenport Homestead. This is going to be very, very new. Why have I got something there? Sorry, I just noticed a new symbol on the map. Oh, it's the frontier. I wonder what it was. So where are we heading? We're heading... See, some of this we've explored previously as Hyphen, and it's still showing up. So there's 7 animals here we haven't discovered. They could be hares, they could be deer I've already seen. We haven't discovered any for this area. And obviously we're heading... I was going to say, why did my mission marker disappear? Don't disappear on me. That's backwards. I don't know who Achilles was that shouted at us as he came flying past either. But this is where the colonial man seems to be making their home. I think that's a jump off point. Climb up. Some of the movement is difficult, I must admit. I just want to have a look at the view. Lovely forest there. No, you're bored. You're bored, lag. The map is not great looking. Yeah, it's not. The map itself is very difficult to be able to see anything. I know it makes sense that you only discover areas once you've been there. I like that, but even that, I can't tell what I've discovered and what I haven't. Not easily. Some of it, yes, this lighter area is where we've been previously as Hypham, but then surely that shouldn't be uncovered because we're not Hypham now. You would have thought. There's a peg leg trinket there. But yeah, it's different. Definitely different. And yeah, not easy to decipher. But we'll do what we can. Hello, Valsnav. How are you? Assassin's Creed Odyssey is good. I did enjoy the platinum playthrough of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I need to remember to keep pressing R2 when we want to jump off as well. If we see any animals, we will try and catch them while we're here. But we will aim to stay out of trouble, but also get to the next mission marker. We haven't got a horse or anything, so we've got to try and find our own way. There's a horse there. Can I steal the horse? Can I talk to the person? No. I was hoping I could talk to the person I can assassinate, but I can't talk to the person. He's trying to fix his wagon. I thought, maybe we can help him, but it won't give us the option. Doing good, thanks. Good. Yeah, the graphics in Odyssey are better, but then it's a more recent game. So this is the remaster of Assassin's Creed 3, which came with the season pass to Odyssey. And it originally came out in 2012. Even with the remaster, to be honest, the graphics aren't bad. The only thing I'd say is the facial features of characters are probably the one thing that sticks out as not as good as now, but that's to be expected. Some of the detail though, if you look on the ground as he walks, the dust coming up. There's games that you see nowadays, there's tracks here, the games you see nowadays that are current generation games don't have that level of detail. The change in footstep noise. So if the ground is wet, you hear the wet ground under his feet. You see the dust being kicked up. In the snow, you can hear the crunch of the snow beneath his feet. You don't see that in current games.
Hello?
So
Hello? You must be one of them native fellas
from these guys are talking to us.
Called? Iroquois tribe. Aye. You from that?
Course not, Terry. Iroquois ain't a tribe.
Is so.
Is not. The Iroquois is a confederation.
Confederate what now?
See, we read about the Confederation yesterday.
Confederation, yeah, Tony. It's a group, an alliance. Lots of different kinds of people, all united.
Right. Like I said,
A tribe.
Listen, you toddy-headed twiddlepoop. There's a difference between a tribe and a confederation, and it's not my fault your skull's too thick to make sense of it.
Who you calling a twiddlepoop, you
Twiddlepoop.
back scab? Hey now, this is between me and him.
Yeah, mind your business.
Oh, that's brilliant. The insults. That is proper insults there. Maybe you get to the map after a while, and you'll be able to read it. It looks like it does look like a lot of nothing, doesn't it? Hopefully, we'll get used to it as the game goes on. But yeah, it doesn't. It's not brilliant at the minute. But you get used to these things. It's like pressing R2 to jump. I don't think about it because in the RPG era, you just jump. But I've got to press R2 first before you can jump, and that's the one thing I keep forgetting. You think I'm right, Rafik? Graphically, like I say, I think you can see it's an older game, graphically, but at the same time, it has features you don't see nowadays. And that says something, I think, about some developers nowadays, where they don't put that extra bit of effort into attention to detail. That's the kind of thing that I enjoy and look for in games, is that extra attention to detail. And that is something Ubisoft, for all their faults, do extremely well. You can even see the splashes in the puddles. there's games I've played that are very, very recent doesn't have that, and you just think, why not? You can even see his footprints being left in the mud when it's wet. That to me is that extra attention to detail that makes me think they've actually made an effort, and that's a big thing for me. I've only just noticed the footprints in the soft mud. That's brilliant. Considering when this originally came out. It's little things that I just pick up on and I just think, oh, it's incredible. Right, we are still trying to get to this mission marker. There's a house there. I don't really want to go to that. Oh, there it is. We're here. Oh, I didn't even know we got here. Just walking casually through the wood. But yeah, the insults from them two people were fantastic. Right, we're looking for the guy with the assassin tattoo brand. I don't know what I'm assuming tattoo. Although, if you had this kind of guy turn up on your doorstep, would you be worried? Sequence 5, a boorish man. No one's in. That's a wasted journey.
What?
Oh, he's him. That's Achilles.
I was told you could train me.
No.
Easy answer.
Go away.
I'm not leaving!
What a name though, Achilles. Obviously known as for the Greek myth. Achilles was a great Greek warrior whose mum decided she didn't want. I think it was prophesied he was going to die, so she dipped him into the river Styx to make him so he couldn't be killed. Held on to the back of his ankle while she dipped him in as a child. And the problem with that is the Achilles tendon is where she held on to him from, and that was the only bit that didn't go in the river Styx. So that was his weak point, and that's why it's called the Achilles tendon. It's your weak point. So whenever you say someone's got a weak point, you call it their Achilles tendon. That's where it comes from. Good morning, Lol. How are you? You may not think it to look at him how, but this man was once the mentor of a powerful branch of the Assassins, the Colonial Brotherhood. This is Achilles Davenport. I recognise the name Davenport. Achilles' life before he was an assassin isn't well documented. Seems that most of the records were destroyed when the Templars nearly wiped out the order in 1763. From what I do have, Achilles was recruited in the mid-1730s and became a mentor in 1746. He had a gift for both recruitment and organisation, so before long was head of a crew of assassins that spanned the colonies and much of the frontier. Achilles strengthened the ties between the order and the nations of the Iroquois Confederacy, particularly the... why do they put the big words that I can't pronounce it? Particularly the Canyon Kaka, though as far as their records show, Connor is the first Native American to actually become an assassin. That's very, very cool. I recognise the name Davenport, and I don't know why. Right, so Achilles doesn't want to help us. We're going to take shelter in the stables, according to the next objective. I'm an alpha male. You're an alpha male, are you? Cool. Right. So we've come all this way, left their village, only for Achilles Davenport to not even talk to us.
This should do.
Typos in the database, Sean. Oh yeah, no, it did definitely a typo, isn't it? It looks like it should have said now, not how. Yeah, Sean's getting a bit lazy with his database, I think. So that's a role map we were given by the Elder. I did wonder what it was. It looks like snake skin kind of thing. How long will Davenport keep us waiting? Or Achilles, however way you want to say his name. At least it wasn't. So in some games, in story games, sometimes you have to go and meet someone you've never met before, and they go, "Oh yeah, come in, come in, come in." At least there's that where he doesn't just say, "Yeah, absolutely." It is more of actually, you know, I don't know you, go away. I like that. You're a Trump supporter. I don't have an opinion because I'm in England and Trump is nothing to do with the English. So yeah, I don't really have an opinion on Trump, to be fair. Right, we've got to go and convince Achilles to talk to us. Well, as long as you think he's good, that's the main thing. Right, will he talk to us today? That's a no.
There must be another way in.
Right, we need to find another way in. Let's go around the back. As if he doesn't answer the front door, he's surely going to answer the back door. Well, we're just going to make our own way into the house. Let's have a look.
Please, all I ask is a moment of your time.
Who's at the window?
I apologize if I've been unclear or otherwise confused you with my words. It was never my intention to mislead, so let me try to clarify. Get the hell off my land.
He definitely does want to help us. One thing that's quite we're coming up, are we? Okay. One thing that's quite interesting, I would say, is that Achilles, I didn't notice when he answered the door the first time, but to me he looked, he was a black man. And back when we were actually playing, the time we're in now, that would have been unheard of for a black man to have a big house. So I'm kind of interested to see the story behind him, because there obviously is going to be some big story for that to have occurred. It was a rarity back then, unless obviously he'd gained his freedom. But normally they were slaves back in this time period. I think I've got the time period right. I'm not condoning it. I'm not saying what happened in that time period is right at all. But it would have been strange for someone like him to have a big house.
Just hear me out. What are you so afraid of?
England copied America, did it? Okay.
You think I'm afraid of anything?
Old man Achilles, get off my lawn. Exactly.
Scab like you? Or you might dream of being a hero, of riding to rescues, of saving the world. But stay this course, and the only thing you're gonna be is dead. The world's moved on, boy.
We just got beaten up by an old man by the looks of things. Not beaten up, but you know what I mean. Taken down by an old man.
I will not leave, do you hear me?
I am 36.
I'm never leaving.
I think. Yeah,
Just
I think.
wait, old man.
I never remember because no one really ever asked my age. We got to take shelter back again in the stables. Well, that went well, didn't it?
I will not be defeated so easily.
So I see what he's going to do. He's going to wait it out. He's told us to go away, so we're going to go and take shelter in the stables to break his resistance and say, look, we're not going anywhere.
Me. You have to.
I like his perseverance. Connor's perseverance is definitely there. He doesn't take no for an answer. Oh, who are these two?
These are square toes. This'll be easy.
That's
They're
what you
gonna
said
rob
last
him.
time, and I wound up with a dead horse and a dark eye.
They're going to try and rob him, aren't they?
No one you need concern yourself with, little britches.
Best cut for something bad happens.
No.
Can't say we didn't warn ya.
Right, we're fighting. Oh, my block is trying to block is difficult. One down. There's more. Come on then.
Yield, boy. We'll kill you quickly.
Should have run when you had the chance.
So far so good.
You're only making things worse.
We're defending the manor currently. To be fair, that tomahawk is pretty cool.
Why are you here? What do you want?
Best ask the boss.
Do you have a boyfriend? Really? I have a girlfriend and a little boy. So no. I don't have a boyfriend because I don't want a boyfriend.
Maybe this will get you talking. Thank you.
Clean this up. Then I suppose we should talk.
Now he wants to talk to us after we've defended the manor. We managed to do the optional objective as well. Which was good. So I'm just doing something else for the time being. Bear with me a second. Right, let's carry on. So he's already very capable. Yeah, he can defend himself quite well. His tomahawk worked really well. It's a very quick weapon to use. And we successfully passed the side objective without realising. It's even bonus. But yeah, the tomahawk is really cool.
Sorry.
Not your fault. This whole place is ready to come down. Goddamn miracle it hasn't already. Anyway, who are you?
My name is Rado Hangado.
Right. Well, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Now, tell me why you're here.
I was told to seek this symbol.
Do you even know what that symbol represents? Or what it is you're asking for?
No.
And yet, here you are.
The spirit said that I am...
These spirits of yours have been harassing the assassins for centuries. Ever since Ezio uncorked the bottle. But you don't even know what an assassin is, do you? Well, best settled in then. I've got a story to tell, and it's gonna take a while to get it all out.
You think Achilles gave him the name Connor? It would make sense, wouldn't it?
This is why the Assassins have dedicated themselves to the pursuit of the Templars. Because if they succeed, your spirit's visions will become reality.
Then I will stop them.
Oh, I have no doubt you'll try. Come on. I've something to show you.
Right. We've got to
Careful.
follow Achilles.
Wasn't a joke when I said this place was coming apart.
So,
Why don't you repair it?
good
What's the
question.
point? Besides, I don't have materials for the job.
You know what's going to happen. We're going to have to get the materials, aren't
So
we?
buy them.
Look at me. You think I can just march into some store, purse full of pounds, and go shopping?
It's a lovely house.
Yes.
I'll give him that.
Why not?
But that just shows,
So naive.
yeah, Connor. You can tell Connor's naivety, can't you? He obviously doesn't understand. A secret room. That's
This
cool.
way.
That is very cool. But yeah, his naivety, living in the village he lived in. He obviously doesn't understand the ways of the frontier and the ways of the colonial man. Wow, that's an outfit. The outfit in the middle looked really cool. Look at that. That is nice.
But don't think you can just come in here, throw those on, and call yourself an assassin.
I did not. I would never presume.
That's all right. I know they've a certain allure. Very well. I'll train you. Then we'll know if you've the right to wear those robes.
Thank you.
Name's Achilles.
So he's going to train us. That is really nice, isn't it? I would assume that's Achilles' old outfit then. I would
Come
assume.
on then. We've work to do.
This is the order
You are a
of
speck
the Templars.
dust, a nothing. You and all your kind, living in the dirt like animals, oblivious to the true ways of the world.
He
What
recognises
do the
Charles Lee.
Templars want?
What they've always wanted. Control. They see an opportunity in the colonies. A chance for
Reminds you
new
of Edwards.
beginnings,
It's got that
unfettered
look,
by
hasn't
the
it?
chaos of the past. This is why they backed the British. Here they have a chance to illustrate the merits of their beliefs. A people in service to the principles of order and structure.
I have seen what is to come if they succeed. They have to die, don't they? All of them. Even my father.
Oh, so he knows
Especially
his
your
father. I didn't know if
He's
he
the
knew
one
who his
holding the
father
whole thing
was.
together.
That was never made apparent that he knew who his father was. But he does. Now that's interesting. And we completed the optional objectives, so that is 100% synchronization. Do I know the
So I
Kenway
train.
family connections?
In running, in climbing, in fighting,
Not offhand,
falling.
no.
and for
I
every
probably
lesson
should.
that concerned the body, there were two that concerned the mind. Language, philosophy, logic, the arts. Achilles taught most often of the Assassins and Templars, their structures, origins, and purpose. Centuries of history condensed into a few short days. I told him of the men who had burned my village,
Few short days.
of Charles Lee and my
It was actually
promised
6
land.
months, but
Achilles explained that Lee and his followers were Templars, and that they were led by none other than my own father. If I was to serve the order, these men would become my targets. So I worked harder.
it's an extremely
learned
bright
faster.
screen.
But for all my progress, it was clear that I still had much to learn.
I'm assuming I'm meant to go
My
up.
training had only just begun.
I don't know if I'm meant to move out. It's all really bright and I can't see anything. I can't see anything. I can't... Where am I meant to go? Because that is ridiculous. Map. I don't know if I'm meant to go outside. I think I'm meant to go outside. Yes. So I'm trying to find my way out because that is ridiculous brightness. I think there's a door here. Exit. There we go. So Edward is the father of Hytham and Hytham father of Connor. Okay. I thought I should have known that, to be honest. Winter again. We're back into the winter months. I may have gone out the wrong way, to be fair. Is that... No, we are meant to be outside. Edward is Connor's grandfather. No, that makes sense. I should have known that. Right, Achilles' errand.
Good evening to you.
Good evening.
Good morning.
I don't know why that was so bright
you as well.
in the house and we couldn't see anything. That was ridiculous.
You taking a trip?
I've decided to do something about the house. And you're going to help me.
Yeah, how much brightness do you want in the remaster? Yes. Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't know if that's a glitch with the graphics or what. That was ridiculous. We have got more stuff in the Animus database we should really look at as well. But it's like this loading screen. Why so bright? I don't know if we should turn down the brightness a little bit. I might have to do that. I haven't done it at the start. I may have to. So tomorrow I was meant to have this phone call with work, weren't I? Well, it's been cancelled. I just got a text. Due to staff sickness, we will cancel your meeting tomorrow. So tomorrow's stream will be normal time, 4 hours, because we don't have to finish early anymore.
Come on.
You would have thought, going into the main town, where the indigenous people are probably not welcome, or not...
This place is incredible.
Liked.
The people, the sounds and smells. I could walk these
You would think they would have changed his clothing.
Half its wonders.
I thought the same.
Because he's not going to fit in.
At a time. These days, I much prefer the quiet of the countryside.
We've got to follow Achilles without getting into conflict.
So many opportunities.
It's that naivety again, isn't it?
Boy. For a few.
Okay. We are going to try and follow him and not get into conflict. At the same time, where is my settings? There we go. I'm going to have a look at the brightness because it is getting ridiculous. I didn't think it was that bad, but it is. Effects, music, brightness. We're on 5. It's only midway. There isn't much difference to turn it down by 1, to be honest. My concern with turning it down, we're in the middle of brightness. My concern with turning it down is at night it's going to be extremely difficult to see. Animus database, let's have a look. What is the recent entries? We've got a few. Only 3 actually, so that's not too bad. Charles Lee updated. So we obviously previously read about Charles Lee, but this is the updated part. Only 5. Don't want to know how he's a 10. No, I don't want to have a look at it at 10. I won't be able to see anything. Burn into the back of my eyes. Frustrated with his lack of advancement of the British, Lee moved back to New York in 1773. He quickly became a supporter of the revolutionary cause, and in June of 1775 he joined the Continental Army with the rank of Major General. Lee began his service under the command of George Washington, which grated, since Lee had some hopes of being named Commander-in-Chief of the Army himself. So he didn't like working under Washington. Given Lee's experience, he might have had a point, but he also had his drawbacks. Most notable was his temper. Lee was quick to anger and had a habit of being very vocally and publicly angry when he didn't get his way. Bosses loved that. Lee also had some rather odd personal quirks. He was exceptionally fond of dogs and was continually surrounded by them, in particular his much-loved Pomeranian, really. Never trust a man continually surrounded by tiny dogs. He was also vain and liked tailored suits, but rarely washed them, meaning that he smelled little better than his animals. Or worse. and worse according to some. Despite his failings, Lee was both a competent leader and popular with the troops. Washington recognised it and named one of the forts on the Hudson River Fort Lee in his honour. If Washington was hoping that just naming a fort after him smooth over their rocky relationship, it amazingly didn't work. In fact, as time went on, Lee became less and less fond of Washington and became reluctant to follow his orders at all. When Washington retreated across New York and New Jersey in 1776, he sent several commands to Lee to follow him, which Lee did, but very slowly. Which may be what resulted in him being left behind and captured by the British in 1776. Still, it's understandable. He probably had to stop every 5 minutes to let his bloody dogs piss in the hedge. Fortunately for Lee, he had resigned his commission in the British Army shortly after taking his role in the Continental Army. That meant instead of being tried for being deserter, his imprisonment in New York was more of an inconvenience. He was wined and dined by the British, allowed to have whoever he wanted as a dinner guest. It was basically a bed and breakfast, and in return Lee gave him information about the state of the Continental Army. So he turned. He actually defected to the British by the sounds of it, and gave them information. So the Davenport Homestead, this was where we met Achilles Davenport. This lovely little collection of buildings was the headquarters for the original assassin order of the colonies, a modest Masyaf, if you will. Sometime during the 7 Years' War, the Templars made their move and destroyed it during the assassin witch hunt. By which I mean there was a witch hunt for assassins, not that there were assassin witches. Makes sense? Achilles survived the attack and stuck around to keep the manor standing, barely, by the looks of it. Once Connor came along, it flourished again for several decades, even surpassing its former glory. Then it suddenly vanished early in the 19th century. Any manor that can suddenly vanish is both interesting and unsettling in the same measure, though probably not a great investment. Got a good point. Can't invest in a house that disappears. We've just walked past the old meeting house, so the bells in this church rang out in the hours leading up to the Boston Massacre, as crowds were gathering to taunt the soldiers in front of the State House. In Boston at the time, church bells were rung when there was a fire, so the people ran into the streets to see what was happening. That swelled the crowd, making tensions between the people and the British soldiers that much worse. It ended, of course, with the soldiers firing into the crowd, killing 5 people. And this concludes our lesson on how church bells could be used to incite riots in colonial America. Okay, interesting. So we've got to follow Achilles without getting into a fight, basically, without entering conflict. Now, I need to walk faster. It's a couple of times it's happened now. I'm not going to aim to get into conflict, but I've got a feeling it's not going to be as simple as not getting into conflict.
There's a store close to here. You're to buy the items on this list. Tell them where the carriage is, and they'll see that it's loaded.
Right, we're going to the shop.
Yes.
Good. You're also going to need a new name.
Oh.
Your skin is fair enough that you might pass for one with Spanish or Italian blood. Better to be thought a Spaniard than a native. And both are better still than I.
That's not true.
What's true and what is aren't always the same.
So Achilles knows about the racism that is done towards him.
Connor. Yes.
And Achilles has named him. I love the name Achilles. I really like the name Achilles. So our name is now Connor. We have been named by Achilles. We've got to visit the general store. Okay. We're getting new stuff come up in the Animus database. Old State House. This building housed the Massachusetts government from 1713 to 1798. Before the Revolution, that would have meant the governor, his advisors, and the elected assembly. Of course, by elected, I mean elected by white male property owners, since they were the only people that had the right to vote. The assembly also had rather limited power. The governor had a veto at anything they decided, and on occasion dissolved the assembly when they didn't vote his way. Less a governor, more a dictator. In 1767, a gallery was installed above the meeting floor here so the general public could watch the legislator at work. This was a very novel idea at the time. Of course, some of the representatives probably regretted the decision later, when crowds used the area to heckle those who voted pro-British. Then again, perhaps that was the point all along. The government moved out of the building to a bigger space in 1798, and the old building was turned over to the merchants, including a wine cellar and a wig maker, making it the colonial equivalent of a shopping mall, though one that mainly dealt in wine and wigs. So yeah, if you were an elected official, you kind of got your own way of everything, didn't you? Right, we have got viewpoints here. But again, we haven't got a reason to do them just yet. So I'll hold off. Our whole point is to try and blend in, which isn't going to end up well, I don't think. I kind of feel like we should have changed before coming here. To have a native walk around a town like this is obviously going to draw trouble to him, I would have said. The viewpoints I want to do, but I want to have a reason for them, if you know what I mean. Animus database, a bunch of grapes. This was one of the meeting places of the Sons of Liberty. The attraction of this particular tavern may have been the library, which included many anti-British books, or it might have been its reputation as the finest punch house in Boston. Or it might even have been its location, which is right down the street from the old State House, where the legislator met and where the Boston Massacre occurred. Or it might have been a dance night. I love the sarcasm. While I'd love to use the fact that the Patriots met in taverns to imply all kinds of things about them, I should point out that taverns were places to do business as well as drink, and that alcohol was viewed as, more or less, the cure for all ills. You're waiting for a punchline, but that's actually true. Those are the kind of doctor's orders I crave. Yeah, it's weird that he hasn't changed his clothes, because we stand out like a sore thumb. You know, it's obvious we're not a local, and even if changing the name, it's still obvious that we're not from here. Stamp Act. As we go through the game, these will become less and less because we would have already found them. The Stamp Act was the British government's attempt to recoup some of the money they spent during the French and Indian War by taxing the American colonists, who theoretically benefited most from it. Parliament chose the stamp tax because it was simple, easily implemented, and the colonists couldn't smuggle the way out of paying it. All papers, from newspapers to legal documents to lawyers' licenses, would need to purchase a government stamp to be used. Colonists, however, didn't think Britain had the right to tax them at all, since there was no colonial representatives in Parliament. They've got a point, to be fair. Hence the snappy revolutionary slogan, "No taxation without representation." They also resented the suggestion that they were responsible for Britain's war debts, since the colonial militia had a huge role in fighting and winning the French and Indian War. Huge public protests were organised, run by groups who called themselves the Sons of Liberty. Merchants declared a boycott of British goods. Perhaps most importantly, the people assigned to collect the tax were threatened and intimidated into resigning. The Massachusetts stamp distributor was even paraded through Boston by the Sons of Liberty and forced to resign at the Liberty Tree. No stamp taxes were ever collected, and the British repealed the Stamp Act in March 1766. But it wasn't an entire victory for the colonists. Parliament then passed something called the Declaratory Act, I can't say the word, essentially stating the British had the absolute right to tax the colonists, and there wasn't anything the colonists could do about it. Nothing, that is, except start their own country. I've always fancied doing that. So the British were trying to force the colonists to pay for the British's debts because of the war. What else have I missed from recent entries? Oh, pocket boroughs. One of the issues around the American Revolution was that the colonists had no representatives and thus no say in British Parliament. To add insult to injury, some parts of the United Kingdom that have had no actual residents did have seats in Parliament. So there were places in the United Kingdom that had no residents, and yet they had seats. This essentially meant landowners could give the cushy government appointments to whoever they wanted. These areas were known as pocket boroughs because the landowner had them in his pocket, or rotten boroughs. A fun game is to guess why. One of the examples was the borough of Old Sarum, which had no voters and 2 seats in Parliament. However, it wasn't the only one. Pocket boroughs were numerous. As of 1761, it's estimated 250 of the 558 parliamentary boroughs were under this kind of patronage. The problem wasn't really corrected until the late 19th century. So when the colonists were complaining that the British government was hopelessly corrupt, they had a point. It's a different world back then, wasn't it? That's the big thing. It was so different back then to what it is now. There's an almanac page nearby because it's coming up. Right, we're at the shop. I like the fact that Achilles has named him. I like that. But as we say, he needs to change his clothes, because he's going to draw attention.
You lost?
So giving him a name that he thinks
the
may
items
sound
on this
Spanish
list.
won't help.
Will you be paying with coin or trade?
He's going to screw us out of the money.
Some of these things I have, some I don't. Lumber's hard to come by since my supplier up and vanished. I have the tools and pitch, though. Nails, too. So, where do you want this delivered?
Our wagon is near the State House.
Maybe he's not going to screw us over. I thought he would, just because of the way we looked, the way he spoke to us. I honestly thought he was going to screw us over. But he didn't. We can return to Achilles now. Although I can't leave the door. Exit building, I guess.
I should return to Achilles.
Who stands in Parliament for Boston? For New York? For Virginia? No one. But old Sauron is represented.
But yeah, let's return to Achilles. We will do a lot more exploring once it opens up a little bit. At the minute, I like to do things naturally, and there's a lot of fighting going on.
We're headed to the customs house to toss some quips at the lobsters.
The lobsters are another name for redcoats.
We're going to ruffle some redback feathers.
Right, something's going on in Boston.
That's what we're going to find out.
To King Street. We'll
Follow
show
me.
'em. Down to the customs house for a spree. Come on.
The people are fighting back. I have got another thing, Patriots, just popped up in the Animus database. We're 30% done in the database already. So we've got two different things, Lawless and Patriots. Yes, Roots was amazing. I feel a bit iffy about the... Sorry, I just saw your other message. I feel a bit iffy about the name because of history. Native Americans and black people were robbed of their names and languages and forced into conforming. It's a good point. I think I know what you're saying, but I think Achilles means well by giving him a name that sounds Spanish. Although Connor to me doesn't sound Spanish. He's trying to help him fit in so he's not prejudiced against. Although changing the clothes would have gone a long way to help him. But I know what you're saying. The Native Americans and black people, their names were taken and forced to learn English, forced to speak like everyone else. So, yeah, I do see what you're saying. And it is that time, isn't it? It's when it happened. The old series Roots was fantastic, though. I read the books before I watched the TV show, and they were fantastic. I loved it. And you learn so much from them. There was just so much going on there that even nowadays, most people still can't comprehend. So Kunta Kinte was forced to be called Toby. It was to help them fit in, wasn't it? To make them sound more like everyone else. Yeah, Achilles does mean well, but it is problematic. He's kind of, considering the racism he's probably faced with his name as well and his colour of his skin, instead of solving the issue, he's actually adding to it by forcing someone else to try and be like everyone else when he himself isn't. He could be called Connor in public but keep his name in private. There's that. That's a very good point, to be fair. But then are they just depicting what it was like back then? That's the thing. Loyalists were colonists who sided with the British during the Revolution. They were also known as Tories, Royalists and King's Men, and probably also by their enemies as those bloody arse-kissing ninny hammers, among other things. Ninny hammers. While being a loyalist might seem to you like the bad guys, that's only because you know the Patriots won. It's very easy to use history to look smart, even if you were subjected to the American education system. And system is a strong word. Sean doesn't like the American education system by the sounds of it. In fact, by some estimates, as many as 1 in 5 colonists were actively loyalists, and many more tried not to pick a side altogether. I expect the version of the story you've heard goes something like this. The loyalists were traitors who betrayed their fellow Americans to the British. It's a nice little fiction, since from a loyalist perspective the opposite was true. The colonies were founded and owned by Britain. The colonists were therefore British citizens, thus the rebels trying to disobey the king were the real traitors here. Ah, you see. You're a country of traitors. Try spinning that. Very anti-American, isn't it? You'd also have to be pretty brave to be a loyalist, particularly if the people in your community were patriots. Known loyalists were frequently dragged from their homes, beaten, burned with candles, or tarred and feathered. That's just in case you suffer from the delusion that the patriots always took the moral high ground. And the patriots. Patriots were colonists who united against the British government in the Revolutionary War. Although at the time of the revolution, patriot was something of a negative term, what we call patriots today were more likely to be called Whigs, or if you were loyalists, rebels. The patriot motto was no taxation without representation, a great phrase for rabble-rousing, though a poor choice of catchphrase for, say, a game show host. It's also a phrase that requires a bit of unpacking for the modern audience, by which I mean you, Desmond. The colonies didn't elect representatives to the British legislature, and because of the travel distance between Britain and America and the distinct lack of aeroplanes, it would have been practical. Instead, patriots wanted to be governed by representatives within the colonies. Of course, they did have legislators already, but those were rather prone to being shut down by British-appointed governors whenever they didn't have behaved properly. Read, do exactly what the governor wanted. It's hard to know how many people in the colonies were patriots. The best guess is between 40 and 45% of the population. The rest are either declared loyalists or people who decided to remain tactically neutral. Probably a wise choice given that both sides were known for seizing the property of their enemies. So who was right and who was wrong? Were the loyalists right? Were the patriots right? It's that time period that so much can be taken from what's said, what's told, what's recorded. You know, it was a massive time of upheaval. The British have come along with the French. They've taken over America, forced the colonists to succumb to them. They've taken away villages, burned villages down of the natives, and forcing people to be part of their empire. But yeah, there is that hint of racism, that hint of conforming is definitely within the game. We've always said that, so the RPG era, revenge is a big reason in a lot of the Assassin's Creed games to be an assassin.
I say again, disperse! Congregating in this manner is forbidden!
We're not going anywhere, Bug!
Oi! Why did you go back to England?
No good can come of this chaos! Return to your
You're never going to settle the crowd down, are you? That's Thomas Preston.
Not until you've answered for your crimes!
You're right, cowards!
You don't scare us!
Pointing guns at unarmed
We
foes.
ain't afraid!
There. Is that my
Hypham.
father?
Yes, which means trouble is sure to follow. I need you to tail his accomplice.
We're going to follow his accomplice.
This crowd is a powder keg.
I would definitely try to stay neutral. I think Britain has a history of not being kind of rebels. No, they do. That's a good point.
Say and go.
Come on, you gosh-gutted coward! It doesn't shoot at me!
Right. I know what the mission, but we've got Haytham Kenway's come up. So, yeah, I agree. You'd want to stay neutral, wouldn't you? But I think it's going to be it's going to be difficult to stay neutral. I think when your family and stuff is threatened. But yeah, the British don't have a good history when it comes to rebels. And yeah, the Patriots, although they are the locals, the British Empire is massive at this point. The bell is tolled in massacre time. That's a good point. Whenever the bell tolled, people went to the streets, didn't they? That's not a good sign. Italian missions in Assassin's Creed hated these things so much. I can't say I missed them. Let's put it that way. This was what we've got on Haytham Kenway. This is one of the recent entries that just came up. Haytham Kenway is a Templar who came to the American colonies in 1754. From what I've learned, Kenway was sent here by Grand Master Reginald Birch for dual mission. Establish his own Templar group to rival the colonial assassins, and search for clues about artifacts related to the first civilization. And when a Grand Master tells you to do something, you do it, even if it's just a chess, Grand Master. Kenway didn't find the artifacts he was looking for. He did, however, recruit a small dedicated band of Templars. He also attempted to forge a relationship with the Canon Kaka in the frontier, and one woman in particular, Canitio. I have no idea if that's how you say it. The two were briefly lovers, and however brief it was enough, because Canitio, unbeknownst to Haytham, ended up raising their son Connor. I'm guessing it was Kenway who became Grand Master in the colonies, and therefore the main man responsible for the 1763 attack on the colonial assassins. That attack wiped out most of the membership and almost all of their records from the era. It's never been clear exactly what happened in that attack, or how Kenway managed to make it such a complete surprise. In any case, I don't think I like this guy. Sorry to use such strong words. It's weird we played him at the start, and obviously we didn't click or I didn't click, of who he was.
Officer, go ahead! Fire your little gun!
Right, where is he? I've lost him. I've got to stay in groups of people because obviously we don't want him to see we're here. We've just got to tail him. Can't get too close, but can't be too far away.
Oi, you there! What's all the fuss about?
Fire at the townhouse.
Quite understanding with these two. He's now currently not moving, which doesn't help me. Ah, he's gone. I'm glad he got to the corner quickly. Yeah, I don't miss these missions. These are, but then in a way they are true assassin missions, aren't they? Because you are tailing someone. You're meant to be listening in. A lot more than some of the other missions are. Got to stay close to him, but not too close. He's climbing up. He's going to take a shot, isn't he? He's going to try and kill someone. He's got a gun in his hand. Assassinate him. There we go. Reflex shot worked perfectly.
Your plot is ended.
Not quite.
There was more than one.
Oh, damn you! Fire!
This is the massacre. Soldiers are shooting them all. We've been spied. I didn't realise till we started climbing up what he was doing. We've got to escape the zone. Right, we've thrown him off. We'll escape within the given time. Come on, up, 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 up. I'm trying to escape, but I don't know if I'm going to do it in the given time. I need to escape. Come on, climb down. And run. No, we're now yellow in this area. Don't think we didn't do the optional objective. I don't know if we did it.
I need to find Achilles.
We need to find Achilles. Did we do it? No, I failed it. I kind of want to do that one again. What do you think? Should we try again? Definitely inciting the massacre. Yeah, he was shooting in the air to make people think they'd shot. I think we should redo that one. Only because... Oh, okay. We've got a new thing. Boston Massacre on King Street. Doubtless the readers well know that on the evening of Monday last, a squadron of soldiers formed before the custom house, fired into a crowd of citizens, killing 4 and wounding many. Our readers would expect a circumstantial account of the tragical affair, but we hope they'll excuse our being particularly cautious, as we should be, had we not seen that the town was intending an inquiry and full representation thereof. However, some few facts appear to be established. Following upon an altercation between some lads of the town and a single posted guard at the custom house, an increasing number of citizens came to that place and with heat shouted down the guard. In like manner, a large group of citizens gathered in King Street. Captain Thomas Preston perceived from the main guardhouse a soldier in distress and left the main guard of the party men with charged bayonets. Soldiers came pushing their bayonets, crying, "Make way." This is from the newspaper. It took place by the custom house and continued to push to drive the crowd off, pricked some in several places. You can see how this is done to make the soldiers not be the bad guys. They drive people off, pricked some in several places in which they were clamorous, and it said threw snowballs and perhaps portions of ice. The crowd taunting the soldiers, shouting, "Fire! You dare not fire!" On this and more snowballs coming, someone cried out, "Damn you! Fire!" One soldier then fired, and a townsman with a cudgel struck him on over the hands with such force that he dropped his firelock and, rushing forward, aimed a blow at the captain's head, which grazed his hat and fell pretty heavy upon his arm. However, the soldiers continued to fire successfully till 7 or 8, or, as some say, 11 guns were discharged. By this fatal manoeuvre, 3 men were laid dead on the spot and 2 were more struggling for life. But what showed a degree of cruelty unknown to the British troops, at least since the House of Hanover has directed their operation, was an attempt to fire upon or push with their bayonets the persons who undertook to remove the slain and wounded. The dead are Mr. Samuel Gray, killed on the spot, the ball entering his head and beating off a large portion of his skull; a mulatto man named Crispus Attucks, who also killed instantly. 2 balls entered his breast, one of them in a special goring the right lobe with lungs, and the great part lived was most horribly. Mr. James Caldwell, mate of Captain Morton's vessel, in like manner killed by 2 balls entering his back. By balls it means musket balls. I don't know if it's made up. I'll have a look in a second. I'll have to have a quick look and see, because I'm curious. Mr. Samuel Maverick, a promising youth of 17 years of age, son of the widow Maverick, and apprentice to Mr. Greenwood, Ivory Turner. A ball went through his belly and was cut out of his back. He died the next morning. Mr. Patrick Carr, about 30 years of age, who worked with Mr. Field, leather breeches maker in Queen Street, wounded. Ball entered near his hip and went out his side. Apprehended he will die. And several others requiring surgery, suffering loss of blood, shattered bones, and lodged musket balls. Governor Hutchinson has exerted himself in an effort to quell the town. He has ordered the arrest of said Captain Preston, as well as the soldiers involved until such time as investigation and general ordering of the facts can be made. So they are making out the soldiers weren't at fault completely. So Boston Massacre, let's have a look. I don't know how much of it's true and how's not, so let's have a look. Boston. I'm curious. Normally, they're really good with their historical detail. So I'm curious to what it says. So it's a confrontation on March the 5th, 1770, in which British soldiers shot and killed several people while being harassed by the mob in Boston. Well, that's what's just happened. The event was heavily publicised by leading patriots. British troops have been stationed at the province of Massachusetts base in 1768. Amid tense relations between the civilians and soldiers, a mob formed around a British sentry and verbally abused him, which is what it said. He was eventually supported by 7 additional soldiers led by Captain Thomas Preston. Again, that's completely true then. They were hit by clubs, stones and snowballs. That's what the newspaper just said. Eventually, one soldier fired, prompting others to fire without an order by Preston. The gunfire instantly killed 3 people and wounded 8 others, 2 of whom later died of their wounds. The crowd eventually dispersed. Acting Governor Thomas Hutchinson promised an inquiry, which it says about 8, and actually in real life, 8 soldiers, 1 officer and 4 civilians were arrested and charged with murder. And they were defended by future US President John Adams. 6 of the soldiers were acquitted, and the other 2 were convicted of manslaughter and given reduced sentences. The 2 found guilty of manslaughter were sentenced to branding on their hand. So yeah, it was definitely biased, but I like the fact it's factually correct. That's what I love about Assassin's Creed. They try and be as factually correct as possible. Right, I think what we're going to do, I want to restart that sequence, because we should be able to get out of there. I think we should be able to get out of there a lot better than we did. We've failed quite a few recently. Yeah, travel to Boston and resupply Homestead. I don't know how much. Hopefully we don't have loads to redo. We've still got a couple there. What did we fail on? Mid-air collisions. But I think we'll play it now because we are there and it's just an escape. I'm hoping not to replay the whole thing. That might have been a mistake. We'll find out in a second. But I should have done better to escape, I think. But yeah, I like the attention to detail when it comes to historical accuracy. Assassin's Creed are brilliant for that. Oh, okay. We're actually here. So unfortunately, I made a mistake. We've got to replay the whole thing, which is not what I wanted.
The people, the sounds and smells.
We can skip a lot of the dialogue though and cutscenes. I shouldn't have done it.
I thought the same as you upon a time.
I should have waited.
These days, I much prefer the quiet of the countryside.
But there is so much life here. So many.
What I should have done is carried on from where we were and gone back later on, redo it. My apologies. I just thought I could quickly get it done now. Yeah, I definitely messed up with this one. I will skip the cutscenes though, because we've done all this. It's the escape I wanted to redo. That's all I wanted to do was the escape. But visit the store, which is what we'll do now. That's the annoying thing about the side quests and the optional objectives. If you want the platinum, you do need to do them. And the problem with that is if you get it slightly wrong, you've got to redo the whole thing. And some of them you can do straight away. I didn't think about how far this one was from where we were. I thought it was a different part of the mission.
I should return to Achilles.
But yeah, interesting about the article. The fact that it was true, that's what happened. But the article was obviously biased, which they're bound to be.
We're headed to the customs house to toss some quips at the lobsters.
What happened?
That's what we're going to find out. Follow me.
The soldiers would never want themselves to come across as the aggressors. They're always going to say they acted in self-defense. As that would make more sense. I've got to tail the guy all over again as well, don't I? It's annoying. Remind me next time not to go back and redo it while we're here. Because I'm going to have to tail that guy all over again as well. Should have just carried on. Live and learn. Right, we can skip this.
Come on, you gosh-gutted coward. It doesn't shoot at me.
Hey, Lobster! Go ahead! Fire your little gun!
Right, this is the guy we need to tail. Obviously we can't get too close. Stay within the crowds. He will talk to these guys over here before he goes down the corridor. Alleyway.
Boy, you there! What's all the fuss about?
Fire at the town.
But yeah, my apologies. I shouldn't have done it. I should have just carried on. If I don't escape this time in time, then we won't redo it. That will be it. There he is. Thought he'd see me then, I thought I'd messed up. Right, we killed him again. Now we'll skip and we'll now escape.
Your plot is ended.
Not quite.
Let's try and see if we can do it better this time and get it under the time limit. We're going to become anonymous and escape. Obviously there are men after us as well. Oh, he got me. Come on, get up. Come on. Run, run, run. I don't know if they saw where I went. They didn't. I've got 38 seconds. If we can hide in here, surely that means we're anonymous. Once they stop looking for us, there we go, we've done it. I thought we could. It was a mistake to go back all that way, but we've done it at least. You are now notorious. The guards will recognise you attack you on sight. He's blending and hiding to avoid patrols. We got full synchronisation at least. I just felt like I didn't concentrate enough. But at least we've done it. We've cleared this optional objective. I won't be doing that again though. We went back a long, long way.
I need to find Achilles.
Right, we need to find Achilles. We are currently wanted. Why is there's a new item in the store? We keep getting messages that the store has loads of new items.
Who are you?
Oh, guards are still worried about us.
Adams wants a word.
What? Why?
Well, you'll need asking that yourself. He'll meet you tonight near Faneuil Hall. I suggest laying low tonight.
There's a civilian telling us someone wants to see us. This guard's here. So we're actually wanted. The guards know about us. They recognise us. Hyphen's probably got a lot to do with that. So we've got to stay away from guards as much as possible. Two we've just been seeing again. Right, I need to find a way. I need to find where we're going. Do you know what? I might climb up. There's a synchronization point here anyway. We'll grab that while we're here. But yeah, so civilian was telling us that someone wants to meet us at night. I don't know who that civilian is. So I'm not sure about that one. Talking about Adams wants to meet us. But while we're here, we'll synchronize. No! Oh, that was a mistake. I jumped off without meaning to. Oh, that snow nearly died. I just wanted to synchronise. I was holding X, and X is jump. I didn't mean to. Yeah, use the rooftops. Seems like a good way. I think that's probably a good plan, isn't it? I thought if we synchronise, we'll see a bit more of the town. And give us a reference of where we're heading a little bit better. You can bribe printers to reset your notoriety. That's okay. I was actually because it was said about printers shops. Right, this is our map. Let's zoom in. So obviously the shops have new items now for us, but we still haven't got any money. I wouldn't have said. I don't think we have any money anyway. But we're heading to here to meet Achilles. I don't know what that is. Vigilantes. Right, we've got to be a bit wary of vigilantes, I think. I don't know whether they're after us or not. If we go to recent entries. What do we got? So the Boston Massacre we've read. Have we not? No. No, we haven't read this. The Boston Massacre was a culmination of several fights between British soldiers and the people of Boston. We had actually read the newspaper article. A group of British soldiers fired in the crowd at point-blank range, killing 5. The reality of it is less damning to the British soldiers than it sounds. What started as an argument about a wig maker's bill, of all things, turned into a mob. Hundreds of Boston citizens kept 8 British regulars cornered for hours. By the end of it, many were holding clubs, throwing stones and taunting the soldiers to fire. Captain Thomas Preston was in charge of the regulars and tried to defuse the situation with the crowd. They asked if his soldiers' guns were loaded. He admitted that they were, but it would have been stupid for them to order them to fire, since at the time he was standing in front of them. It wasn't until one of the soldiers was hit by a stone which forced him to drop his musket that the regulars fired into the crowd, against the orders of Preston, who later testified he never gave the command to fire. It's possible his men mistook the taunts of the crowd for an order. Why is it sounding more like an accident? The regulars were arrested and tried for murder. 6 were acquitted, including Thomas Preston. The other 2 men were found guilty of manslaughter, but had their thumbs branded in lieu of the usual sentence, which was death. One of the interesting things about the massacre is what happened afterward. That is, how both sides tried to spin it to their advantage. We've seen this with the newspaper, haven't we? The fact that most people called it a massacre should give you some idea of who won this particular PR war. Revolutionaries portrayed it as an attack on colonial liberties. An image of the event, popularised by Paul Revere, showed an organised British force firing into the crowd, not a confused group of soldiers cornered by an angry mob. The British, on the other hand, referred to the event, the incident on King Street, were naturally calm in a crisis, unlike countries who insist on turning every minor confrontation into a three-ring circus. Anyway, the wig maker dropped his prices, and it never happened again. I call it a victory for the bold. So, that's kind of saying the British weren't at fault 100%. But you think we might need to speak to Achilles to unlock it? Probably. The Coffee Crown House. This is one of the places we've just walked past. The name of this place is somewhat misleading. It's likely that this coffee house sold more than wine than coffee, since coffee was only just becoming popular. I know it's hard to imagine a time when people didn't enjoy their morning cup, but there you are. I can't stand coffee personally. If we go by the number of bottles they had in stock, this was one of the busiest taverns in Boston. Likely because of its location. If you were arriving in Boston by ship in the 1700s, and let's face it, you didn't fly in, this would have been the first tavern you saw, and since taverns were great places to get information, you might have stopped here for a drink and the latest news. Right, so yeah, the Boston Massacre may not be as clear-cut as we think. I'm trying to work out our best. We've got to get over there. We've got to avoid soldiers at all costs by the looks of things. I don't know if I can jump. Where? I was thinking about jumping, but I can't see where. There. Right, there are soldiers to our right. Or are they the vigilantes? One of the two. I'm going to try and go up. Like you suggested, Lisa, I think height is definitely our advantage. My concern is them guards are on the roof. They are on the roof. Okay, we have to be a little bit careful. There are guards on the roof to our right. And there's guards on the roof to our left. There's guards everywhere. All I want to do is stay undetected. There's a vigilante mob over here as well, to be aware of. I don't know if they're going to come after us or not. Right. I think we're pretty safe for the minute. I think Achilles is just round this corner. I'm ignoring the vigilantes. Right, I think we are... I said we're safe. There's a guard to our left. There's more guards over here as well. And Achilles is in this building. No, Samuel Adams. So this was the man that the civilians said wanted... someone wanted to talk to us. So it's not Achilles, it's Samuel Adams.
You're Achilles' boy.
And he knows us.
I saw what happened at the townhouse. A fine mess that.
Who are you?
We really need to change our clothes.
Service.
We don't know who Samuel Adams
Achilles
is.
asked me to get you out of Boston.
Explain.
The whole city's looking for you.
They're going to blame us.
Oh yay! A criminal stalks the streets, wanted in connection with the
We're
massacre
being
at the
blamed for it.
townhouse. Citizens are advised to call the guards if they see him. £10 to whoever brings this madman
What am I supposed to do?
Change would be the first thing. Cut your hair, maybe.
Or you can take down these posters for a start. Return to me once you remove the others.
We've got to go round taking down the posters, whilst avoiding the guards by the looks of it.
Nothing more to say so long as those posters remain.
Right, we need to take down 2 wanted posters, and obviously avoid guards at the same time. We are now incognito. Right, we've got Samuel Adams. So I think this is the first time I've met Samuel Adams. I don't recognise the name. Samuel Adams was a Boston lawyer, a signatory of the Declaration of Independence. I recognised the name, but not from this. And a prominent political figure during the lead up to the American Revolution. I think that's put your little life into perspective, hasn't it? I will say, that for historical purposes, these games are fantastic. I've learned so much more about different periods of time that I had no interest in previously, and have since gone on to actually look into it because of what the games make you want to know about. Maybe it's just me, but that's what I enjoy, is it gives you that sense of, I want to know more about that. Second US president. Was he? I don't know. Was he? I know of the name. Adams was born in Massachusetts, son of another Samuel Adams, who was a well-off merchant. Adams, the younger one, went to Harvard, graduating in 1740. He went into business for himself, but was a dismal failure and ended up taking a job in the family brewery. A lot of men turn to breweries when their businesses fail, but in a rather different way. And that was fortunate for his historical legacy, since his relationship to beer may be the reason most Americans have ever even heard of him. Adams was elected to the Massachusetts legislature in 1765, which was the beginning of his political career. He was a staunch supporter of colonist rights, mainly the ever-popular arguments of whether British Parliament had the right to impose taxes, but wasn't pro-independence, at least not at first. I think it's fair to say he changed his mind later. And is often portrayed as an angry radical, but that's a bit of a biased picture. Adams disliked vigilantism, blah 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 blah. For the most part, though he approved when a mob forced Boston stamp collector to resign, so perhaps he only disliked some vigilantism. I can't say that word properly. In later years, when Adams was in Congress, he refused even to join a political party because he found the idea divisive, a sentiment which he shared with George Washington, incidentally. However, Adams' reputation for being a rabble-rouser is somewhat understandable. He was a representative for the town of Boston after the Boston Massacre, and succeeded in having the regulars kicked out of town. Oh, okay, that's interesting. He spoke at the Old South Meeting Hall just prior to the Boston Tea Party, and he said he gave the signal for the dumping of the tea, though there's some debate over whether he was involved, which I'm happy about, as gentleman does not waste tea. Adams was infamous enough that he had to leave Boston for Lexington in 1775 to avoid arrest by the British, who considered him a troublemaker. When the siege of Boston began, the Massachusetts governor offered to pardon any rebels who would lay down their arms, except Adams and John Hancock. Overall, Adams certainly was a thorn in the side of the British, though what puzzles me is why some Americans think being an angry revolutionary was a bad thing. It got you where you are today, didn't it? Actually, hang about, yes. Maybe I see their point after all. Oh, that's brilliant. Was he? See, that doesn't mention him being president. We obviously know George Washington was. Samuel Adams. So I mean, it just makes you. He was a founding father of the United States. Yeah, he was the second cousin to the former president John Adams. So he wasn't a president, Samuel Adams, but he was one of the founding fathers. Yeah, his cousin was the president, but he was one of the founding fathers. So I mean, it makes you want to look into these things. It makes you want to learn more. Right, we need to somehow get some of these posters down. Let's have a look. Obviously on the map we can't see. We need two of them. We can't see where the troops are to where the posters are. Let's try that one. See if we can get the viewpoint at the same time. Possibly. There are troops nearby, so I do have to be very careful. Jump. I think in his viewpoint, and then see if we can get it. Where are these troops? I keep forgetting about the fact we can use eagle vision. I can't climb up there. I was hoping I could. Can I climb up? Yes. I thought while we're here we'll get the viewpoint, and then we'll grab. Viewpoint is this one here. So we'll grab this and then we'll try and get the poster. Need to remember, don't have X held down when climbing, because that makes you jump. No, my US history isn't 100% either, but it's making me want to learn more. Which is always a good thing. I enjoy learning. So we've synchronized the viewpoint. We're gonna have to. I think I need to remember to use eagle vision a little bit more. So I'm just checking something. Cool. We need to use eagle vision a lot more, I think, especially when it comes to where enemy soldiers are. So that is where I can jump in the hay. Soldiers are there and soldiers are there. I don't want to jump in the hay then, do I? Would we assassinate people at this point? To defend ourselves, do we think we would have done? Because we can obviously jump in the hay and maybe pull that guy in. I don't think Connor would have tried to kill people at this point. Or is it just me thinking nicely of him? Because we haven't really been physical with anyone. Obviously he wants to protect his people, and he doesn't understand why he's been framed or why he's wanted for the Boston Massacre. But at the same time, I wouldn't say he's ever come across as someone who is the aggressor first. Right, we've been seen. Climb. I've just been seen. We're now being shot at. I made the mistake there. We may have to become the aggressor right now because we're currently being hunted. He probably doesn't love the British, but he would probably try to keep low at this point. He would, wouldn't he? We could go all out and just start killing people, but I do try and play the games in the same way the character would have done it. I don't know who's shooting and at where. Someone is shooting at us, but I don't know where they are, annoyingly. I need to get down. There's a guard over there. This is not easy without fighting. I'm trying not to fight. Right, that guard's moving away. Oh, there's guards everywhere. I cannot go anywhere without a guard seeing me at this point. I think I may just have to jump down and try and hope for the best, because I don't think I've got a chance of escaping at this point. There we go, we've just been shot. We may have to fight. I can't see a way around it now. I don't want to have to fight, but I just can't see a way around it. And obviously the soldiers came for us first. I just couldn't... I got no way of escaping these guys. We are taking a few hits as well. I don't know who the Jaegers are, but that says we're about to get killed, I think. I'm nearly dead. The thing is, they'll just shoot me if I go too far. There's too many of them. Whoa, what was that? A grenade, I think. We're so nearly dead. There's just too many of them. Oh, that's cool. We just got a kill streak, I think. That helps. I'm fighting for my life here. Desynced. We got killed. I know, when I dived underwater before, and I dived in the water, you can't seem to go under.
We can't be seen together until these posters are gone.
Okay, let's try this again, shall we? Obviously, I think the viewpoint's now synced. This is not easy. like in general, because of the amount of troops around. I thought staying high would help us, but I don't know. It's not an easy game. It's the enemy have good vision. You do get spotted fairly simply. There's no obvious crouch. So I can see there's a guard down there. I've kind of got to sneak down there behind the soldiers, take out the guard to then get the poster, surely. So, another. Okay. Keep forgetting to press R2, to be fair. R2 is run as well. Alright, there's guards down below. There's a guard there. In the hay. I think we are going to have to fight a little bit. I think we are going to have to take people out. I can't see a way round it without. Yeah, I can't see a way of us doing this without taking people out. I don't think you can dive. I can go below the water, can't I? I know I just dived into that. I need him to turn around. Ideally. Can't whistle. I'm kind of stuck now without him turning. Well, I don't think he saw me. Right, let's try the diving in the water. So yeah, oh, so I can dive underwater. You can dive under the hide. Right, assassinate. So we were saying how Connor wouldn't fight the soldiers. I don't think we've got a choice. One poster done. One to go. Kind of want to go up. I'm thinking if I'm up here, the poster's just along here, but obviously there's guards here. So yeah, whereas we're trying to stay discreet, I don't think we've got a choice. I think two guards together there. There are soldiers over there as well. I need them two guards to walk round. And once they've walked, hopefully we can go and do it. Poster is directly below. I want these guards to carry on walking. I'm going to try and drop down. Move, move, move. Poster's down. Okay, cool. Right, we've done it. Where is Samuel Adams now? Over there, okay. So, yeah, I think maybe the first time we were trying to be too nice about it, and I think maybe we do need to be a little bit more aggressive. From here though, I need to get to Samuel Adams. Oh, I don't know if I'm wanted anymore or not. We'll soon find out because Samuel Adams is in the middle of everyone here. But yeah, I think maybe we were being a bit too. We weren't being aggressive enough. We were trying so hard to be how Connor seems to come across.
There you are.
But I think
I'd like you to meet Cyrus.
We didn't have much choice in that.
Is he the killer?
Are we the killer?
Peace. Cyrus is on our side, or rather, for the right price, he will be.
Have you seen this man?
Oh, we're still wanted.
Watch and learn.
Oh yay, oh yay! Word has reached us that the man responsible for today's shooting may have been in disguise. A wig and makeup tin were found near the scene of the crime. Witnesses describe a middle-aged gentleman of pale complexion fleeing towards the wharves, rifle in arm.
Thank you kindly, Cyrus.
That's quite cool.
Come on, then. There's still one last bit of work.
That's all it takes to change public opinion is one person saying whatever they think.
Going? To the printer.
So you can now... So town criers. Okay. It's not an animus thing.
Machine. We need to shut it down.
So yeah, escort Sam to the underground entrance of the Green Dragon Tavern. We can't raise a notoriety above level 3, it just said. Animus database, we've now got Jaegers. We met a Jaeger when we died. So let's see what the Jaegers are. Hessians were German soldiers who were hired by the British to fight in the Revolutionary War. While Hessians technically referred to the soldiers who were from the state of Hessen Castle, came to be the blanket term for all the German mercenaries who fought in the Revolution. The imprecision is easy to understand, of course, when a troop of German soldiers lines up and starts firing you in a war, only the most misguided of geography nerds would stop to ask where they're from. So me then. Among the Hessian troops who were sent to the American Revolution were at least 2 units referred to as Jaegers. These were light infantry troops known for being accurate marksmen. Accurate marksmen are very much the best sort of marksman. The word Jaeger also happens to be a German for hunter, and early members of the Jaeger troops were mainly comprised of experienced foresters. Again, really accurate gunmen who are good at fighting in the woods is exactly the kind of soldiers you'd want for war in the American frontier. Unsurprisingly, this made Jaegers the most feared and respected divisions of the Hessians. So Jaegers are the worst enemy to come across, it would seem. We haven't got an entry on Silas, I wondered if we did, but... Do not raise your notoriety level 3. Well, I'm hoping not to raise it at all. Since we're only escorting him... Hang on, I'm going the wrong way. I was following a completely different person then. Right, come with me. Are you coming or? Right, we've got to escort him to over there. I was following the complete wrong person. Again, if we can avoid guards, I think I will try to. We are incognito now, that we're not wanted at least. Does make life a little bit easier. But if we're not allowed to raise a notoriety, I'm assuming things may change. But you can also bribe town criers then to get your notoriety down. We're still in the tutorial, it seems, because there's lots of things we're still learning how to do.
Damn it, we're too late. They've set up a checkpoint. Come on, this way.
I can go by rooftop and meet you there.
No. Better you learn about the tunnels now.
Tunnels?
The Masons have a whole network of them under the city. They're quite useful when speed and secrecy are required.
Right, okay, we've got to get into the underground entrance to avoid the checkpoints by the sounds of it. Yeah, it's definitely a long tutorial it seems, because we're still learning more about how to play, which makes me think it is more still tutorial. It isn't a bad thing, but I just wasn't expecting it. So there's checkpoints everywhere, and we've somehow got to get to this without being stopped by guards, I would have said. Trying to take side roads where possible. But yeah, it's like that when the protagonist completely... Yeah, exactly, Connor himself is learning, isn't he? Connor himself doesn't have a clue about life in Boston in a town. For him, everything is all new. There's lots of soldiers this way. Just gonna wait here a second as they're walking past. Although we're not wanted, I don't know how long that lasts. Let's have a quick look on the map. Obviously on the map you can't see enemies. We're just literally there. You can't see enemies on the map. But also I don't want to force the issue if I can help it. Right, there's guards there blocking me off there. There's going to be guards blocking me off here, I'm pretty sure. On the left hand side you can see on the map, on the mini map, there are 2 guards there. I need to get round the back. I'm hoping they won't do anything. We're not wanted, we haven't got a notoriety level, so I'm assuming we're okay. Does seem to be. I'm hoping there's a back entrance. Because we did say about climbing and going across the rooftops, but he did say no. There's an almanac paper here as well. We'll do this another time. So although it's not an open world, it does seem like there's lots of exploring to do on your own away from missions at some point, with all the almanac pages around and things like that. So there does seem to be a lot to do away from the main missions. But currently, the main story is the important part, as we are still, as Lisa says, green, we're still learning. As Connor doesn't know how to be. And we have made it here successfully, I would like to think.
Here we are then.
Enter the underground. Right, and we complete our side objective of not raising our notoriety level. Seems a bit weird. I'd assume you obviously don't force your way through guards, you won't raise your notoriety level. We try not to kill unless we have to, so for us that's quite an easy thing to achieve. I say that like it's easy, but it's not. We have found the underground entrances, so the map's quite big.
Hold on.
Right, this is fast travel, so the underground tunnels can be used. See, I thought that was, it's not an Animus page. To escort Sam through the underground to the North Port exit, I didn't see what the side mission was. Use a lantern to explore the underground. Use O to pick up or drop the lantern. I didn't see what the side quest or the optional objective was. This is a little bit annoying. We're going to the North Point exit, which is here. How do, that's what I'm curious about. How do I see optional objectives? Oh, you struggle to find the right way. Oh, really? Thanks for filling me with lots of confidence. I want to check up on what the optional objective is right now. How have we done a side mission? Oh, we haven't. I don't know if we have or not. Yeah. Have I actually got to go to the sequence I'm on to find the optional objective? So, I don't know if I'm missing a button or not, but how do I find... That was that. That's most recent entries for notifications. It doesn't tell me what my optional objective is, and I can't find a way to get it to show me. There are other optional ones, I think. Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know how you discover optional objectives.
Use your
That's
lantern to light the lamps, Connor. They'll help us find our way should we get turned around.
I wonder why they built these tunnels.
They built them to stay away from the soldiers, is what they built them for. Follow the animals' movements for a hint of a path. Okay, so if you look at the rats, you can follow their movement and hopefully they'll give you a hint of where you're going. There's another lamp here. Or torch. But yeah, it does seem for something that is an open world,
Excellent. Let us move on.
There is a lot to discover away from the missions, it seems.
Much as it pains me to say it, we must follow the rats, as they often move in the direction of an exit.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. The rats do move in the direction of an exit, so following rats is a good idea. I'm assuming at some point we're going to have to go through all the tunnels and see if we can find out lots of different areas in the tunnels, I'm assuming. I'm hoping the torches we've lit stay lit the whole time. It's an interesting place. I think we found it though. We're here.
Well, well. You were right. I apologize for ever doubting. No wonder Achilles has taken such an interest in you.
Door's locked.
I don't suppose lockpicking is part of your repertoire?
We've done this once as Hyphen previously. Are we going to have to do it, or will he do it for us? No, we're going to have to do it, aren't we? We did it once as hyphen. So rotate L to locate and hold the tension angle. And then we use right to hold the raking angle. And R2 to break the lock. To be fair, that's nowhere near as bad as later games. Lock picking in later games is a lot worse than that.
Far. Let us reconvene there.
So the optional objective was to visit 10 fast travel points, I think it said. Oh, that was full. No, so it wasn't optional. It was something else to clear as a side mission, and by the looks of things. It was an optional objective because that was 100% synchronization. As I say, for something that is an open world, there is a lot to do away from the missions, which is going to probably take time. And it's when you go around exploring and finding these things. I'm assuming at the end of the main story you can go back and do everything, but I don't know for sure. So we will need to concentrate on things soon. Oh, we've reached an entirety level 1. Why are we level 1? I don't want to be level 1. I want to be 0. There are 10 tunnels. I think they came up with 10, didn't it? To be fair. And we found... I think you've got to find 10 entrances or fast travel points. Because on the map now, that is a fast travel point. You won't see it because that's where we are. But, yeah, they are actually now fast travel points. Which is quite cool. Because of where we are, we won't see it. But... So I think you have to find all 10 tunnels. I would assume there is a trophy for that, would be my assumption. Right, we are wanted. Level 1, people will investigate us. So we have to be a little bit wary now. And obviously this is a new area. Can we go in that door? Or are we meant to go? And we've got to meet up with Adams. Right, we're too high. I'm assuming this is... Is he across the... He's around the other side of the building. And my assumption is we're going for a door this side. Which means I've got to be wary of soldiers. Yeah. We're in the right place. I just had to go round. This is a printer's shop. So this will tell us about printing shop. Look for posters of Eagle Vision. Posters? I never thought of Eagle Vision. I keep forgetting about Eagle Vision. I don't know why, but for some reason it doesn't cross my mind with this. When in the others we know it's there, but I just don't think of it. I need to start remembering. Printing presses were originally brought to America to print religious texts, but by the time of the Revolutionary War, they were also used for things like newspapers, pamphlets, and broadsheets. Think of it as a colonial internet, about the same speed as dial-up. I'm sure there's many people out there that don't remember dial-up, but dial-up was slow. Unlike word of mouth, newspaper articles could spread news of events from colony to colony quickly, without any loss of information. But that doesn't mean it wasn't unbiased. Far from it. Presses were commonly used to print propaganda. We've seen this in the newspaper we read. Every newspaper had its slant. Thank goodness that doesn't happen nowadays. We know it does. Anyway, part of what made the Boston Massacre a turning point were reprints of Paul Revere's woodcut. It showed organised British soldiers in full formation firing point blank at an innocent crowd. A shocking image which enraged the people and fueled their hatred of the British. Completely made up, of course, but what did that matter? The public is there to be manipulated. Actually, I bet you could use these places to print some propaganda of your own. If the soldiers are getting too unfriendly, a little reminder that you're a hero of the people might help. So that explains why printer shops are important to us, as they will help us remove notoriety when needed. As we can then print some posters to say we're not bad, honest. Oh look, Storesman we met earlier.
Me, Sam.
Either all the Storesmen look the same, or that is the same one.
It wasn't important, if it wasn't vital.
Fine. Just this once, though. In the future, such things will come at a price. Resetting the type is neither quick nor easy. To say nothing of the cost should I be discovered.
I shall not forget this kindness.
Nor I.
His work will see your last little bit of notoriety erased. Come, I'll show you how to leave now that order's been restored.
So, for free, our first ever notoriety lowered, being lowered.
Works. Untoward actions will upset the citizens and inevitably lead to the guards being called. Depending on the severity of your transgression, they may simply search a bit before giving up and returning to their posts. But should you offend them severely or repeatedly, they'll become much more aggressive in their pursuits. I've shown you 3 ways to turn the tide. Remove wanted posters, bribe town criers, or visit a printer to create your own propaganda.
This feels wrong. Why not just speak to someone and explain my innocence?
So that's the naivety coming through again, isn't it?
We counter one lie with another. Words on paper instantly taken as truth. And all of it without question.
There's a horse coming.
This beast. Or have you forgotten? I merely helped you tame and turn it round.
There must be another way. Something more honest.
Well, when you find it, do let me know. But until then, we sculpt with the clay we have.
My apologies. I do not mean to sound ungrateful.
Quite all right. I was much the same at your age. You'll grow out of it.
And if I do not?
So look for posts of Eagle Vision. That's a good shout. So now I know what you mean now, but look for Eagle Vision.
Thank you for everything, Sam.
But we're leaving anyway. At this point.
Oh, I'm counting on it.
He obviously knows what Achilles is training us for. Obviously, I don't think Connor really knows what he's being trained for at this point. It doesn't seem to be that way. Mission complete. We've got an underground fast travel, full synchronization. This is the Harbour Master. So you can fast travel easily between cities, but zooming out entirely. Once you've zoomed out, you will see all the possible regions that you can zoom into by pressing R2. There's a Harbour Master as well. I don't know what the Harbour Master does. Let's interact. See what he says. Oh, he can... Ooh, I didn't know this. So the Harbour Master can take us to new areas. Obviously, we haven't been to any of these, so none of them are open as of yet. But we can actually travel further afield. This makes the map even bigger. I thought the map was quite big anyway. We're currently in Boston. Boston's there. We are... Davenport Homestead is there. Frontier is there. The map is quite big anyway, but it is making it just so much bigger. There's new items in the store. Where are we heading? We're heading back to the frontier, aren't we? So we could fast travel, or we can try and collect a few things on the way. I think at this point the story is telling us we're leaving. The whole reason Sam Adams was helping us was to get us out of Boston undetected. That was the whole point. We've got the 2 fast travel places for the 2 underground areas we've got as well. So at this point we may as well fast travel. I so want to go to the shop, have a look at these new items, but again we probably haven't got any money. I don't believe we have. Yes, we could explore, but at this point the story makes more sense for us just to leave, as that was the whole point of Sam Adams helping us. So let's fast travel to near the frontier. So we've had a little tutorial in Boston about how to lower our notoriety when needed. And this is back to the frontier. I'm assuming we're heading to the Homestead. So back to go and see Achilles is my assumption. I would love to just explore Boston, but I just think it wouldn't make much sense at this point. Plus I kind of want my hidden blade, which we still haven't got. But yeah, it's still... Oh, you were supposed to go to Davenport Homestead via the Harbour Master. I didn't even think of that. I think I can fast travel. But this way it works as well. Yeah, we can fast travel there. To the Homestead. I didn't think of that actually, I just thought we could just head here. Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. But although, like I say, the map, there are so many different maps although themselves are small, there's lots to do in them all. And on top of what's to do in every map, there are quite a few of them. And for something that isn't an RPG, is an open world, it comes across that it is. There's so much exploring to do. Why are we notoriety 1? We haven't done anything. That is where we're heading. Yeah, maybe we're meant to fast travel directly there. By the Harbour Master. I think you're right, Lisa, to be fair. We've kind of gone it the long way, I think. Davenport Homestead. Yeah, we probably could have fast travelled straight there, couldn't we? You love doing the hunting missions and wandering around the wilderness. I know, but something that's not an open world game. There is so much sense of it being and encouraging that kind of play, though, as well. We will, once the kind of story makes sense of us just to go off and explore, we'll do a lot of it. At the minute, as far as I can tell, the story wants us to go and I can set the marker. Wants us to just do what we're doing now, I think. You think this was the first? Well, you got to think this is only number 3. So before this we had number 1, which was Bethlehem and Jerusalem. There was a bit of wild, but not massively. You could ride between cities, but there wasn't a massive amount. I don't think, from what I remember. So yeah, you could ride, but there wasn't much. Ezio, there was a little bit of riding out, but yeah, definitely not proper wilderness like this is. This does seem to be a bit of a template for the RPG era in a lot of ways. Right, our homestead is around this corner, hopefully. We have been this way before. But yeah, it does come across as a massive template for later games. And I love the wilderness. I think the wilderness is brilliant. Even Boston itself, the way people are moving around and doing their business. Sound of the snow though as well. In fact, it nearly falls over in deep snow. I've kind of come off the road just so we can open up a little bit more of the map. Controls are still a bit fiddly. It's still something I've got to get used to. And we're here. Davenport Homestead. Assuming that's the stables. We haven't got many arrows left. I've just noticed I've only got 1 arrow. I don't think there's anything to pick up in here. Just thought I'd have a look. Don't do that. As I say, controls are a bit fiddly. Need to remember R2 is to help with climbing. I want to keep pressing X when I'm holding R2 and I know that's the worst thing I can be doing. Right. Achilles is inside. Well, I'm assuming he's inside. Let's go and find out. We actually get to walk around the house. That's quite cool. Because before it was a bright light, wasn't it? It wasn't. You couldn't really see much. There he is. So after a little expedition in Boston, we have made it back.
Welcome back.
You left me in Boston.
The training we've done here is all well and good, but experience is a better teacher by far.
He's got a
What
point.
of my father?
Into the wind, I'm afraid.
We have to find him.
And we will, after the house has been repaired.
But he's out there plotting who knows what.
And what would you do?
Connor does seem to have a bit of anger in him, more so than he probably
You're a boy
should.
with a few months of training.
Anger is good
He's a
if it's
man
controlled.
full-grown who spent decades honing his skills.
Connor seems to be have trouble kind of controlling his anger.
The Templars, you're going to need these.
Is this what it is? Is this what we've been waiting for? We need a change of outfit is what we need. Look at that assassin. And there we go.
scorn before I change my mind.
We've finally been granted the assassin's hidden blade. Is that... Godfrey needs help. Is that a double hidden blade or single? He definitely needs a bit of tempering, doesn't he? He's still naive. Kill a bear with a hidden blade is a challenge. There's a bear outside attacking this man, and we've now got a hidden blade, and we've got to use the hidden blade to kill the bear, I think.
You, sir, please, help!
I'm just changing my weapon to hidden blade.
Going to die!
Right. Start the mission. Well, a hunting mission we've got is part of killing a bear with hidden blade.
Please come.
This may get badly wrong first time round, we shall find out shortly. But yeah, it looks like we have to kill a bear with a hidden blade by the sounds of it. I'm not overly confident. I've changed my weapon to hidden blade though, at least. Hopefully that'll help. It does seem like he's got two hidden blades. I don't know if that's true, but the way it looks... This maybe is the last part of our training.
Down there! He's just passed under the bridge!
I thought we was fighting a bear. We need to save the man. Do not touch... Oh, I missed the square. I can't touch the water while trying to rescue him. Keep missing the square. Reach Cherry before he goes in the waterfall. Right, I've killed the wolf. Counter skin animals are in conflict. Right, we've got to get to him before he touches the waterfall, and we can't touch the water. I think we're about to desync. How are we going to get to him? Oh, come on. There we go. Beaver. I should have... I can see the beaver. I don't know if I'm going to get to him in time. Come on. Swing. Swing, swing, swing. The bear might be unrelated. No, that's a good point, it might be. I got no chance. It says don't go in the water. I think I've just failed the quest. I think I failed it. It said don't touch the water, but it got to a point of where it said dive. I think we failed. Yeah. Well, I did it correctly that time. There we go. Definitely a lot better that time than I've done previously. How the hell am I meant to save this guy? I'm trying. So he seems to stop at certain points. I'm assuming I've got to get to that point where he stops and try and get him. Come on. I'm trying to help. Definitely did better with the wolves that time. Come on, swing, swing, swing. I think I failed again. Just couldn't get him to get off the branch. Yeah, I failed it. No, he's gone. We failed. I've got to try and get to him quicker. And I don't know what I'm not doing right. But obviously I'm missing something. Before Connor Ezio, I also had two hidden blades. That could be what it is then. Right. I'm trying. I'm trying. Come on. Don't go, don't go. I'm there. I'm there and he went again. Well, I'm definitely closer to him this time. But I don't know how to stop him. Oh, wolf. I've missed it. I think we failed again. I was definitely closer to him. He's gone, we failed. I don't think I'm going to catch him now. I was definitely a lot closer.
Help me! Please!
There's the waterfall though. I failed it. Come on. I'm in the water and the wolf's attacking me.
Help me!
I did reach him, but I failed the optional objective. That's difficult. Just the speed you've got to get there. The optional objective is failed anyway, so we'll take the fact we've saved him.
Trying to say is he's forever in your debt, sir.
So at some point we're going to have to go back and redo that without touching the water.
What were you doing on those logs?
One of the dangers of lumbering. We've got the camp set up a few rods off of here as we're cutting timber.
But yeah, those are the bear may have been unrelated. It popped up in the left corner.
There's a good place not far from the manor on the hill where I'm staying.
I like you already. We'll have a look.
But yeah, I'm kind of annoyed we couldn't do it without touching the water. But we'd failed a couple of times previously. I think it's all about speed, isn't it, and timing. Thanks for the like of it, that was much appreciated.
I'll miss the peace and quiet, but we can certainly use the wood.
The manor needs a lot of work.
That and other things. Meet me at the small shack by the shoreline when you have time. There's something else you need to see.
What is it?
The hunting challenge is a side quest and the icon's a little paw print. Ah, okay. Right. Look for missions with this icon to recruit new settlers, artisans and farmers to improve your homestead. So we need to recruit people to improve your homestead, which will give you new resources to train, new items you can craft. Interesting. I did wonder if there was crafting involved. The tutorial is extremely long, it seems. As it still seems to be. New weapons and funds can be acquired by either purchasing or crafting. Completing a mission may unlock them. We've got a couple of... So our main quest is over here. But we've got a couple of things here. Godfrey and Terry. Catherine, I don't know who Catherine is. And there's also a Homestead mission. Should we go to the Homestead mission first? I know the main quest is taking us there. I'm assuming these guys... Can we interact? No. I did wonder if we could. Right. There's a lady here though. Who's Catherine? That's just a boy. This is Catherine. We can't talk to her or anything. Right, so we've got a choice. Do we go for the Homestead mission while we're here? Maybe you can find it in the menu. The hunting missions. So the only thing we've seen here is wolves at this point. View hunting book. It's a hunting. Okay, it just says about the animals themselves. There's so much to come out. There's so many menus. Logbook, Hunting Society. That's what we need to do for the Hunting Society. We need to kill a wolf. It's done. There's a little thing there. Yeah, I think she's one of the numbers wives. I think you're right. We need to skin one more animal and that's that done. We still need to sell trading goods. We need to kill 3 more deer. We need to use bait another 4 in the snare 4 more times, and we need to kill a bear. I can track it, which will probably bring it up. So while we're here, I think we should head for the Homestead mission. I know our main quest is over here, but while we're here, and it came up and said about doing them, so let's head to the Homestead mission. I can't see where we craft either. I need more arrows. That's definitely something I do need. If we come across any animals, that's something we've got to do as well. Especially a wolf. One more wolf and that's that bit done for the hunting missions. I think it's only the start of the hunting missions. They're probably going to get harder and more obscure as we go along. I was slowly getting better with the wolf attack. It's just the speed you have to press the buttons that I've struggled with a few times. Well, I don't know if I can climb up here. Homestead mission is above us. Ah, so completing the Homestead missions in your map enables you to start crafting. They're throwing a man off. Why have they thrown a man off the side? Have we got to rescue him? I think we've got to rescue the man they put down the cliff.
Please help me!
I should really put my tomahawk back on, shouldn't I? I just kicked him off. I think I was meant to do that. There'll be a lot of hunting stuff for each map section. Okay, that's good to know. I think we were meant to rescue him, by looks. I think that was the Homestead mission, it seems. It felt a bit wrong to be brutally killing people. I didn't see we had much choice at that moment in time. I think we're achieving quite a bit today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you all right?
It still doesn't say his name is Connor, does it? I've noticed that. It still says his indigenous name.
Blackguards.
So this is Lance.
My purse, which was meager, and they decided to punish me for their trouble.
The problem with the quick time events I've found when the wolves attack you and other animals attack you is the button to press is so small it's difficult to see quickly.
In any case, I had best get on my way. It's a long walk to the nearest inn. I thank you again for your kindness.
Have you no home?
Oh, well, I was a proud resident of Boston until recently, but I'm not a supporter of His Majesty, and, well, I was forced out of my woodshop and home by loyalists.
There are plenty around here who could use the services of a skilled craftsman, if you were looking for somewhere to settle.
Is that right? I may look into that.
Okay, I don't know if we recruited him or not. I hope so. We have. So Lance, woodworker, can now craft level 1 goods. I can barely read what the writing comes up as when it's like that. House party achievement achieved. And mission complete. Full synchronization done for that mission. What I was going to do is find out what the actual trophy entailed. Recruit any of the artisans and see them settled on the homestead. So that is what we've done. So we can now, in theory, we can craft. I don't know where we craft, but supposedly we can. This is Lance. Hello, Lance. So although we can, it says we can do things, doesn't actually give us where. Because although you can't seem to talk to the people, I can't go inside. Can't interact. So I'm just trying to work out where we can actually do things. We've recruited Lance. It's in the menu. I didn't honestly think of the menu, to be fair. Notifications, Animus database, DNA tracker, Animus training. It's not there. Logbook, inventory. That's my inventory. Logbook. Hunting Society collectibles, the underground. Map, all icons, no, that's hunting there. Okay, it's not there. It must be in the main house, mustn't it? There's no. That's Lance. Oh, Lance's woodshop shows up. So his woodshop is there as an icon on the map. But I can't actually do anything. I'd like to figure it out before we leave, just because I kind of would like to know how we craft. We also need arrows, ideally. You need to go to accounting book in the main menu, supposedly. Accounting book in the main menu. So we've now discovered a new recipe, which is barrels. Where's the accounting book? We've got the Animus Training Center, DNA tracker, Animus database. No recent entries. Oh, in Achilles' mansion. Oh, okay, so it's in the main house. It's in typo. Okay, so from here, the main house is... I can't actually see where the main... It's there, isn't it? So there's the lumber mill. So there's a book in the main house, then, we think. That will give you the opportunity to craft. Once we know, we know. It's just we're just got to get to that point of knowing. But yeah, once we know exactly where it is and what we can do, makes life a lot easier. I thought this is the log cabin. This isn't the main house. I thought that was the main house, to be fair, but it's not. So did I mark the? Yeah, I'm looking in the complete wrong place. So these guys are settled over here, and we've still got these. I don't know what these peg leg trinkets are. That's something we need to pick up at some point. That's the main house over the water. So let's quickly head to the main house. Obviously, if there's anything to do at the same time, any animals we come across, we'll deal with them. But let's just see what we can craft. Like I say, arrows is probably an important one at this point. And then we will go and meet Achilles where he asked us to meet him. There's no fast travel to the main house by the looks of things. So it is a case you do have to wander around. You can't see animals either. There's the main house. Yeah, it's a big area. He does have a lot of land. But yeah, it's a very big area. As it's winter, there aren't many animals around, so we need, obviously, the winter to go away. So we can catch some more animals, I think. Right, let's have a look in the main house then. So we're looking for a book, by the sounds of it. If we can find the book, we can then craft. That might help, because that should give us anything that we can interact with. Nothing showing up so far. Maybe we haven't unlocked it yet. Maybe the Homestead mission has been done, but maybe we've not unlocked the book itself. I don't know. Yeah, well, we know the assassins were here. So yeah, maybe it was bought by the assassins and it's just the caretaker currently. That's a very cool statue. I don't think we've fully unlocked crafting yet. Unless I'm being really blind, I don't think we've unlocked it. I know it says you have, but I've just got a feeling we haven't. Because I can't see where we do it. There's no marker on the map either. All these rooms are still covered up, which makes me as well think we haven't fully unlocked it. And you'd expect there to be a marker on the map. Chance to explore the house a little bit though. Who's the picture of? I don't know who the picture's of. Yeah, I think Achilles has to teach us more about the homestead and upgrading by the looks of things. I don't think it's here. I don't think we can actually just go and do it. Right, we can fast travel to Achilles. Oh, no, we can't. I thought we could. Yeah, we can fast travel to the Harbour Master. Which then we can go to Achilles. So Achilles, I think he still needs to explain more about the homestead and recruiting. Although we've saved the person.
People say these are myth, but I have them. Captain Kidd had a secret to be sure. Just get me a ship and a crew, and we'll find out what it was he held so dear. I met him once, that captain. He was 7 feet tall if he was an inch. I tell ya.
Peg leg.
Legs like tree trunks and a smithy's arms.
Can we interact?
My hand shaking a little. I could feel it
No.
then when I met him. No weapon made by man could harm him.
We can just listen to him chowing away, but we can't actually interact with Peg leg. Right, here is Achilles. So yeah, I think we've still got some lessons to learn, haven't we? Training begins. This may be what we needed. This is why I love going in blind, though. I don't. If I knew all this beforehand, I'd get bored. But because I don't, this is what makes it enjoyable. Going in blind is definitely the best way.
Hey, boy! Do you not speak the King's English?
Robert Falconer.
Oh, I didn't see you there, old man. I'd have set my home in order if I'd known you'd be calling.
The boy's name is Connor. He's here to restore the property.
There we go.
Restore? Restore? Pardon my manners. She's still the fastest in the Atlantic. Sure, she needs some attention. Minor things mostly, but with a little affection, she'll fly again.
That boat has had it.
Who is she?
Who is she? Why, the Aquila boy, the ghost of the North Seas.
The boat.
A boat? She's a ship, boy, and make no mistake about it. I thought you brought him here to restore order. I reckon he's the greenest thing on the frontier.
I'd agree. We're definitely green.
Meet me back at the manor when you've finished here.
You said it requires repairs. You able?
She does need work. A ship is a she, boy. And yes, I can refit her, but I'm lacking in the proper supplies. Some quality timber would help me get started.
I can see to that. How long before she is able to sail again?
Just get me the lumber, boy. I'll raise a crew.
That's our training. Now we need to go back to Achilles. So we now got a little bit on Robert Falconer. So Robert Falconer is probably the most storied members of the Assassin's Navy, though he never formally named to a position above first mate. Robert Falconer was the 4th generation of his family to be a seaman. I'm glad I didn't say that out loud. But the first in his family recruited to work for the Assassins. He started off in the Royal Navy, finding his career stalled, partly due to his inability to purchase commissions. He left to work for the United Company of Merchants. In 1753, Falconer disappeared from the historical record, presumed dead. That's because he joined the Assassins, as first mate of the flagship the Aquila. Falconer was much sought after as a mariner. Recruiting was quite a coup for the Brotherhood. He had a reputation for having a disciplined crew and almost an uncanny knack for avoiding trouble, not to mention predicting the weather. Whether through the years of experience or some other more mysterious ability, because I totally believe in those, Falconer would know when a storm, or calm, patch of sea was coming in and could use it to his advantage. Imagine that, a natural weatherman who could accurately predict the weather. The world will never see his like again. Falconer served on board the Aquila until it was nearly destroyed in 1768. always deferring when asked to become the captain. He never gave his reasons why. However, his love for the ship was quite touching. He had it towed to its location near Boston, despite doubts that it would ever be seaworthy again. Falconer could have gone back to the sea aboard another ship, but didn't. He stayed close to the ever-deteriorating Aquila and took to drinking, which is where Connor found him. What else we got? Recent entries. There's another one here. The Aquila. Don't let appearances deceive you. You're looking at the former flagship of the Assassin Navy, if perhaps a little past its prime. The Aquila was built in France in 1749 in the city of Brest. Stop it. The design was incredibly innovative. The design was incredibly innovative for the. I can't get my words out. The design was incredibly innovative. I know the word, I just can't say it for its time. The ship was light, fast, and carried a surprising amount of artillery for its size. It would be decades before there were schooners that could match the Aquila's speed. Of course, there were some disadvantages to the design. Namely that the ship handling was very touchy and required an experienced crew. The man the Aquila was underutilised until the Assassins hired someone who would be able to use the ship to its full potential. Robert Falconer. In 1754, the Aquila followed a Templar ship into a storm, was lost with all hands aboard, or so we wanted the Templars to think. In reality, it sustained only minor damage, was refitted, and became the Assassin's secret weapon. Staying out of major harbours using its speed and the element of surprise to harass ships on Templar business, the Aquila took on mythical qualities. Was whispered about in ports along the eastern seaboard as the ghost of the North Seas, a pirate vessel crewed by ghosts that could appear and disappear into a sudden fog. This reputation was due both to Falconer's uncommon skill and the superstitious nature of most sailors who loved a ghost story and all wanted to marry a mermaid. Eventually the Templars caught on to what had happened, but it did take them more than a decade. They weren't the sharpest tools, let's say, in a box full of spoons. In 1768 the ship was caught in a trap by 3 British frigates. The Aquila was able to limp away from the battle, but ran aground in shallow water. The British left it for lost. Robert Falconer survived the battle, and had the ship towed back to a private bay near Boston, where it, and Falconer, slowly deteriorated, that is, until Connor found them both. Yeah, he definitely doesn't seem in any type of shape to do anything, does he? Right, so now we need to travel all the way back to the mansion. It's a lot of back and forth. That's why I fast travelled originally here. Because there is a lot of back and forth. I'm considering should we go for the peg leg trinket while we're here. We've got no reason to go for this, but because we're here, let's have a look if we can get it now. We may not be able to. And we've seen peg leg. I can hear a wolf. Where are you? Come on then, Mr. Wolf. I have got a reflex shot. It's my last one. Perfect. That works perfectly. Yeah, we might as well try and go in now. With this kind of area of the map, we gained the wolf pelt. I am getting better, I think, with the quick time events. They're just difficult to see. 2 wolves here. Wolves. Wolves. It's your timing, but because the things are so small, seeing them is difficult. But I'm definitely getting my timing better. Right, well, let's skim both of these while we're here. Thank you for the like, whoever that was, much appreciated. Another wolf pelt acquired, and this one here. I'm assuming all this can be sold and used later, crafting and anything else like that. Maybe unlock a quest from peg leg, that's true. Let's see where this peg leg trinket is. It's this box, and we got some wolves out of it. Homestead trinkets number 1 of 4. So that's it. There's 4 trinkets to discover. They're all on the map. We can see them all on the map. And that's number 1 of 4. I don't think there's no other mission for it. It just gave us a trinket. I'm assuming each map will have trinkets of some sort to discover by the looks of things. And peg leg seems to be the one here. So it's just another collectible. I don't know if it's needed for a trophy, but we'll try and clear it as we go when we can. Peg leg, where's he gone? He was down there. He's not there anymore. Or am I looking at the wrong bit? This is... That's Falconer. Where's Pegleg gone? I swear Pegleg was here, but he's not here anymore. Probably gone for a wander. Right, let's get back to the homestead then. Let's get back to the mansion. But yeah, it didn't unlock a quest. Oh, that's a new animal. I don't think I can sneak up on it though, can I? It's got to run away. Oh no, we got it. There we go. We got a new animal. A raccoon is now in the Animus database. Let's have a look at the raccoon. Behaviour. Skittish animals are not very good at detecting a threat. Oh, okay, so they don't run away that easily. Bait, snares, poison darts. Use a snare near a clue left by a raccoon to trap it, or place bait, then hide and assassinate. Remain undetected by hiding in trees. Use your bow. You only get the pelt from them. But it's a new animal. You can buy collectible maps, because I'm pretty sure the collectible maps came up as one of the things we'd unlock, or trinket maps or something for the shops. We haven't really got anything from shops yet, but I remember seeing it come up to say this map is now available in the shop. So there are definitely going to be maps you can buy. At least we've done a bit better with the fast time events. Alright, we're here. So I'm hoping that's the start of us being able to craft and build. Because by the sounds of it, we need to build up the homestead. I need to find the door in. I'm going to complete. That was a nice little jump. Yeah, we need to find how we build up the homestead, because it seems to be a big part of what we need to do. Which I think is where the training begins, kind of comes in, doesn't it?
There you are.
There we go. There's the book.
Come, take a look.
So I remember in Ezio...
What is it?
Assassin's Creed 2 with Ezio, you had a ledger.
It lets us manage the
And you built up the estate for Ezio, and that kind of carried on into this by the looks of it.
That was years ago. Before the slow fever, before the Templars, before everything collapsed.
So we need to build up the estate.
But that's all in the past.
Or the homestead, as it's called.
Better we focus on what's in front of us. Take up the ledger, and I'll teach you how it all works.
So we're still learning. We need to change our outfit. I think that's a big thing we need to do. So stockpile allows you to purchase items from homesteaders and displays the items you currently own. 3%, I don't know what that means. On the right hand side, Connor, 3%, Forest, 0. I don't know what that means. Press X to enter stockpile. So Godfrey and Terry, the lumberjacks, have oak lumber available for purchase. Press X to purchase the oak lumber. £8. We can put 3. Okay, so we can store 10. Use L to select the amount you want to purchase, or press H to select the maximum amount. They have 3 available. We can't afford. Well, we can afford them all. Press confirm. We've purchased 3 oak lumbers. Nice. The stockpile now contains oak lumber, but the lumberjacks are out of stock, but should produce more periodically. Oh, okay, so you can't just constantly keep buying it. They've got to wait for them to restock. I like that sense of realism. Trading menu. X. The oak logs can be sold to merchants through convoys. Press X to select available convoy. So we can send a land convoy to sell these for us. So X to assign. We can assign a dark lumber. It's the only thing we have. We'll send all 3, I suppose. It takes 12 minutes. 35% risk, 30% tax, a profit of £21. If we send it to that merchant in Boston. So it has advantages and disadvantages regarding time, risk, tax and value of product. Choose wisely. So we can send it to Boston, a Hancock store. They pay the best price for clothing and woodwork, so we're going to gain a profit of £21. Oh, we have to press that one. Well, let me change. Items are placed in selected slots, ready to be sent. Press triangle to send the convoy. So we can sell items we make on the homestead. Oh, it's £21 per oak. We've got 3 of them. So we're making a profit of £65. But there is a risk of 35%. And then we confirm. So anything we make on the homestead, we can then sell. I like that. That was full synchronization. It didn't give me a chance to look at crafting, but I'm assuming we've unlocked it now. Just say 12 minutes though before we find out about it.
Time passed quickly after that. My days a blur of
6
study,
months later.
training, and work. What little free time Achilles allowed me was spent learning about the Templars, about Charles Lee and my father. I longed to confront them, to put an end to their schemes, to ensure my people would remain untroubled and free. But I knew it was too soon, that to approach them now would see me killed. All my work would be for nothing. Patience, restraint. These proved the most difficult subjects for me. But in time I mastered them as well. Days became months, months became years. And as my skills and knowledge grew, so too did I.
So in the 6 months of training, he has grown. So there's now a mini game inside the main building. Our main quest is there. We haven't discovered all the animals here yet. Recent entries. I'm just going to have a quick look if there's any recent entries in the animals database. There isn't. The last one was the raccoon. But yeah, we can buy collectible maps. I know that's come up. By looks of it, we have to go to the ship. I want to upgrade. I want to do the upgrades and stuff. But because it fast-forwarded time after we did the convoy, we've got £6 to our name. I kind of feel we need to just head to the mission. Because it still feels like we're learning. It still feels like there's still lots to learn. So yeah, I think at the minute we'll head back, we'll head and carry on the missions. Once it kind of becomes more free, then we can try and clear lots of things. At least the snow's gone. 10 more minutes till the land convoy gets to Boston. That doesn't kind of work. We just passed 6 months, sorry. So it's taken 6 months for that to do that. You would think that in them 6 months, it would have got there by now and paid us. But we'll need to go and collect that. So when that is actually able to be collected, we'll go back, collect the money, see what happens, and at the same time, hopefully, be able to upgrade and craft some more things for ourselves. There are more people here. Time has passed, and there is now a lot more people here. There's a mini game as well going on. We'll have a look at them at another time. At the minute, we don't need to. And this is our mission. It looks like he's not drunk anymore. That's something. The Aquila looks like it's back in the ship shape. But it still seems to be very tutorial based. The hard way. We can launch to there. So this is where we are now. Davenport Homestead. That's Boston. And it wants us to launch to there. By the looks of things. So let us go. Sail to Martha's Vineyard to equip the Aquila with cannon. Officers must also be hired to command the new guns. So you want to start this naval mission. So we're going on a naval mission then, by the looks of things.
Come aboard and feast your eyes, boy.
I'm amazed they got the ship ship worthy again.
Left foot, never the left foot. Horrible look. Step with your right foot first.
You got to walk on the boat with your right foot first. Would you have ever been on a boat?
She is solid.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's
Aye.
talking about, does he?
Weatherly and sleek. She'll fetch 12 knots in a stiff gale. Ne'er a ship from here to Singapore can outrun her on her best day. What do you say we take her out and show you what she can do firsthand?
Where would we go?
As it happens, she still needs guns and the officers to command them. We'll launch straight away. Don't worry, lad. I'll make sure you sprout good sea legs.
I do like the fact that the tutorial missions seem to go on for a very long time. Because obviously Connor is green.
Let's get her out where she needs to
He
be.
was a local native villager. He doesn't know of this world. He doesn't know any of this kind of stuff. It makes sense that it takes time for him to learn it. So I like how that kind of works. It does. It's really pushing the fact that he is green. He is still learning. He's still naive. And he said himself, he's had to learn to be patient. I can see though how some people may feel this is a bit slow for them. Because you are quite restricted at this point, it seems.
Take the helm.
I still feel we need to wear something else. We definitely don't fit in. Animus database. Here's those Edward Kenway sailor jeans. Good point. Yeah, I've never been on a proper sailing ship before. He definitely would be sick, wouldn't he? But the Edward Kenway jeans probably help. You probably don't know much about 18th century naval warfare because you don't know much about anything at all. Sean is hilarious. So here's a rundown of some of the types of vessels likely to encounter. Frigates. These are long, relatively light vessels, a lot of guns, more than 28. If you want to get technical about it, frigates were light and easy manoeuvrable, so they were often used for reconnaissance or escorting merchant vessels. Frigate is also a terrific word to use if you want to swear but your mother-in-law is nearby. Good point. Gunboats. These are smaller vessels, generally contain only one gun, but it was a really big gun. The gun in the boat is where the term gunboat gets the word gun from. It's not known why the word boat is there. Gunboats were relatively inexpensive to build and could be assembled quickly. They are most often used to bombard targets on land, although gunboats can easily be destroyed by a larger ship, such as a frigate. Several gunboats together could do some serious damage before a larger ship could destroy them. Strength in numbers, and guns of course, mostly guns. Schooners are small light craft noted for their speed. These were the preferred ships of privateers during the American Revolution. There was nothing better for breaking through enemy lines faster than you could get shot at, or for making a fast getaway. Nowadays, of course, we have jet skis. The man of war, this isn't really a naval classification, more of a catch-all term for the warship carrying a lot of cannon. Most of the man of wars you'll see will likely be ships of the line, which are essentially big ships with multiple gun decks stacked on one another. Basically, naval warfare consists of lining up your ships broadside against the enemy ships in order to hit them with the most cannonballs possible. Of course, the enemy would be trying to do the same thing. Predictably, the bigger ships with the most guns usually won, linked to the building of more ships with even bigger guns. It wasn't sophisticated, but by God, it worked. I didn't think there'd be naval combat in this, I really didn't. I think that's the only reason. Entry perfect. Right.
Double time, boy. It's time you learned.
I did not even contemplate we'd have naval combat in this, in the slightest.
Come on, lad. Nope.
Right, we're taking the wheel.
Come on, she won't bite.
Are you sure? Okay. We've taken the wheel. I cannot see the optional objectives. Do you want to take any damage before you reach Martha's Vineyard? And we've got to sail through the vineyard. Okay, we've got to go to where we're going, which I actually can't see where we're going. I can't actually see where we're heading. But we need to not take any damage before we reach Martha's Vineyard. This is interesting.
Half sail.
There we go, half sail.
Ha! Your killer flies again. Do you feel it, lad? Set a course for Martha's Vineyard. We'll find our guns and officers there. She's a nimble vessel, but the faster she goes, the more cumbersome she grows. And the firmer your hand needs to be. Enjoy this stretch of open water before we come upon those shallows. Call for full sail if you like.
I don't know if I want to call for full sail, to be fair. Because it's just going to get quicker.
Wind looks to be shifting. Stay alert, Connor. Gusty winds can be difficult to manage.
Yeah, tell me about it. Half sail. So you can really feel the wind pull against the boat. Makes controlling the boat very difficult when the wind picks up. Especially at full sail. You can definitely feel it. It's not... So where we've had ship manoeuvrability in Odyssey was pretty simple. And even the small bit we did in Origins was pretty simple as well. This is by no means simple.
Now, take us through these shallows. Careful not to run up on them. The sandbars will slow us down, but the rocks will put a hole through a hull. And if you want to make a quick tack, call for half sail. She's more manoeuvrable then.
Yeah, we're staying on half sail, I think. Obviously, the side objective is do not take damage. So we want to try and clear this in one if we can and save us coming back later. So half sail is our best bet. Stay away from the rocks. But yeah, I wasn't expecting any kind of ship sailing to be in this game, and there is some.
Mind those other vessels! Hold your tack to keep your right of way!
Where's that little boat going? Turn, 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 turn. But yeah, very different. And I remember playing Black Flag, and moving the ship was easy in Black Flag. This is nowhere near that. I don't want to go full sail just because you can feel how much the wind takes you. And trying to see round the mast as well isn't the easiest thing in the world. Yes, we could go a lot faster, but I'd rather clear. Rogue winds, here we go. This is what I was trying to avoid, is the wind. I'd rather clear the optional objective than go too fast, to be honest. Okay, I may be clear in a minute to go quicker. I'm just looking at the rocks. Dock at the pier. So the pier is to our right.
Cottages! We're close!
Okay, that's where we're going. I've got to be careful of our boats. We're this close to clearing the optional objective, I don't want to lose it now. I don't know what the green bit is, unless that's the wind, maybe. I need to not take damage on my... Press it repeatedly until the ship stops. There we go. We've done it.
We'll go ashore, buy our guns, and find our officers.
There's not a lot of naval, but I think they tested out the concept and expanded in Black Flag. At least they made the handling better in Black Flag, because that was horrible when the wind caught it. I can see people rushing through that and just getting caught out so easy.
You're looking every bit as ravishing as I remember.
After all these years, you sail all the way to the vineyard to pay me compliments?
We are looking for David and Richard Clutterbuck.
Nice to see you too.
Robert Faulkner. Where the hell you been?
He looks a proper sea dog, doesn't
Sorry
he?
for leaving like
With
I did,
scars.
but where I was going, no one could know. You two working much?
No. Between contracts at the moment.
Well, we're looking for gunnery officers. What would you two say to working with me again?
We'd be for getting into a few more scraps.
Good show. The Aquila is a fine vessel. We're fitting all the guns as we speak.
Looks like your friend's about to catch a beating.
Where is Charles Lee?
I don't much care for you were told.
Oh, Benjamin Church.
Hey, you don't want to be doing that, Biddle.
Bobby Faulkner turned to wet nursing.
I don't know who Biddle is. I don't think we've met that person before.
Good you
Church
finally
we have.
realize you're a shite sailor.
Whoa, 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 not in here, gentlemen. Better still, not at all. Bobby, take your friends and get out!
Let's go, boys. Our guns ought to be ready. Come on.
He recognised Church, didn't he? And tried to make enemies along the way by the sounds of it. We have some guns. Right, take the wheel. We've cleared the optional objective of don't take damage, that's a bonus. I don't know if we're now going to get into combat though. Okay, we've got Animus database. Let's have a look at the Clutterbucks. David and Richard Clutterbuck were gunners in the Merchant Navy, starting in the mid-18th century. According to their reputation, these two aren't averse to a friendly fistfight over pretty much anything. So if you're talking to them, try not to mix up their names. David is the older brother, Richard the younger. Oh, and definitely don't try and be funny with their surname. The Clutterbucks were a Dutch family who moved to London when David and Richard were young. Their father was a dock worker, and so the two brothers grew up near and in the dockyards, running errands to pass the time and to earn extra cash. They showed an early aptitude, an affinity if you will, for fighting. The two brothers joined a crew of Robert Falcon on board the Stalwart in 1750, and working with him until he disappeared in 1753. Unlike many who go to sea in search of adventure and treasure, the Clutterbucks' motivation was somewhat different. Guns. They grew up hearing the stories of the sea, but it wasn't until they overheard a gunner talking about the power of his cannon and decided a sailor's life was for them. The sailor was not, in fact, talking about an actual cannon, but the impressionable lads missed it. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm saying he was talking about another type of cannon, a different weapon altogether. I'm saying he was saying his cannon had power. I'm using speech mark to make it obvious. He had a powerful weapon. He wielded an enormous penis. Still don't get it? Oh well. The Clutterbucks spent years travelling on various merchant and privateer vessels, almost always hiring on as a pair. They eventually settled semi-permanently in Martha's Vineyard, taking it as a place to rest between contracts, before they get tired of all the quiet and hire on to another crew. I'll explain that joke again later. Where is Charles? You'll be hearing a lot more. Oh really? Every time he sees someone that looks like the group, he asks the question, does he? Nicholas Biddle. So I didn't think we'd met this guy. He was an ambitious young sailor, became one of the first captains of the Continental Navy. Joined the Royal Navy in 1770, I mean the British side, but when the American Revolution started, he offered his services to the Continental Congress. So a traitor then. Though it's funny how you lot don't generally see it that way. Anyway, while he was only a midshipman for the British, Congress quickly gave him command of his own ship, the Franklin. In 1776 he was offered an even better deal, command of a brand new ship called the Randolph. History is mute on the reasons behind Biddle's rise to prominence, however I think it might be able to solve the mystery we saw Church recruiting him when Connor stopped and Nantucket. Biddle eventually becomes a privateer for the Continental Congress, patrolling British shipping routes, harassing their ships and keeping the spoils from any he could capture. He had a reputation as an excellent captain. He divided the spoils evenly and never used corporal punishment against the crew. What a softy. Pitiful, really, though I think you can see why that would be a job perk. So, a fair person, but obviously I think he's going to be an enemy to us. So Amanda Bailey was a well-known and well-liked innkeeper in Martha's Vineyard around the time of the American Revolution. She was born in North Carolina in 1730, the oldest of a large family. Her mother died when she was 14, leaving young Amanda to work and help care for her younger brothers and sisters alone. Amanda first crossed paths with Robert Falconer when she was a teenager. He was working for the United Company of Merchants. She was a barmaid, clearly a recipe for romance. They exchanged letters. I suppose it was the texting of its day, which stopped when Falcon disappeared from Halifax to join the Assassins. Sad face. Despite reports that Falcon had fallen overboard and was dead, Amanda felt that he was still alive, somewhere, and after several years she went in search of him. Possibly so she could give him hell for abandoning her, but I'm speculating. She never found Falconer, and then she sailed in Martha's Vineyard, taking a job working in the local inn, which she later purchased. Amanda had a born talent for leadership and organisation. She was responsible for setting up the first school in the area, not to mention advocating for improvements to the docks to bring in more business. Her inn was the hub for gossip during the Revolution, particularly if you wanted the laden ship movements. It will probably come as no surprise to you she was a spy for the Patriots, but that's only been publicly known since 1919, when a box of her personal correspondence was found, including some coded notes in Benjamin Tallmadge's handwriting. Oh wow. So she managed to be a spy and go undetected as such until 1919. That is mad. I feel like this game is making me do a lot of reading and talking, which is never a bad thing. Right, we can approach the wheel. What do we need to do now? We have guns, which kind of makes me worry we're going to go and attack something. Sail to the shipwreck.
The older man is a Templar. Who was he with?
Templar? The young buck was Nicholas Biddle. Nobody. Sails before the mast. Midshipman for the crown.
Are the guns ready?
Aye, but we won't jump in over our heads. We'll find a suitable target and show you how they work.
Yeah.
We fitted her with a modest amount of guns to start, but rest assured there's ample room to add more.
So we're going to go to the shipwrecks to test out the guns, I'm assuming at this point. Yeah, super spy. To not be found out until a lot later is amazing. I'm not going to go full sail. I could to speed it up, but I'm holding off. Right, these are the shipwrecks.
Looks like a British frigate with half seas over. Should do nicely for a spotted target practice. Bring around broadside, and when all guns are on target, call fire.
Okay, when all guns are on target, fire at it. Okay.
For a start.
So hold R2 and then release to fire the cannons. Yeah, we're definitely in the right place. Are we ready? Fire. Align the other side of the camera to align.
Boy. Now, aim all guns at her bow and do as much damage as possible.
Fire at the rear broadside of the other vehicle. There we go. There we go. That's how it works.
Now give the swivel guns a turn.
Oh, the swivel guns.
Hit those old powder barrels and light up the sky.
Okay. So swivel guns as well, which are the L2. And you're just going to line it up like that. Combat seems quite good fun.
Not bad for a spot, Captain.
You are a fast learner.
Provided something interests me.
Ah, getting a taste for the open sea, are we? We'll make a jack tar out of you yet. Now we should be getting back. The old man is like to have my hide for keeping you out so long.
Right, we need to return to the homestead. We'll go a little bit quicker now. There's nothing nearby, so it seems. I'm kind of unsure whether we're going to come across something, or whether it will be just a simple case of sail. Hang on. We're under attack.
Destroying property of the crown, disturbing the king's peace, take your pick.
What do we do?
Naught else but to fight back. Sink the bastard.
Take cover. Right, I think we've got to. There is an optional objective for taking cover. Says he brace when attacked. I'm going to use the swivel gun only to take out the ships. So I need them to attack me 2 more times, and we need to take cover successfully when they do so for the optional objective. So I don't want to take them out too soon. 1 more cover, and then we can take them out with the swivel gun. There we go. That should be it. And then swivel gun only. There we go. I didn't mean to do that. I need to get the swivel gun on that one. There we go. Optional objectives all done as well. Ship combat would be a lot easier if it wasn't for the optional objectives.
Another one. Where in the bloody hell did she come from?
The optional objectives make this harder than it needs to be. Yeah, we took cover. I fired at nothing, which was pointless. We've got to destroy the enemy frigate. I kind of need to take cover now. We're still taking damage. I'm trying to line up. Yeah, we're not doing brilliant at this. We've done some damage. I need it to be in my range. There we go. That was a good shot. I know they were coming behind me, which is why I wanted to turn quickly there. Right, I need to turn. I've gone to full sail to try and get some speed on us. I need to turn enough to get a view on them. Half sail, I think you can turn quicker. There we go. We've done it. Frigate destroyed.
Carry on, sailor. Not bad for your first voyage, eh, boy?
That wasn't too bad. It's just trying to get the angles right.
We best be getting back, or the old man will have my guts.
And the control of the ship is quite slow, so you can't make sudden movements. It doesn't kind of turn quickly, which is quite realistic, I suppose. A new painting is available at the manor. First expedition painting. I think we achieved all the optionals as well. Even better, full synchronization. We're getting a lot of emails outside the Animus, I must admit. But yeah, so that's the ship combat tutorial, which is interesting to say the least. It's the lack of maneuverability makes the ship harder to control. Obviously at half sail the maneuverability is easier, but you lose the speed from full sail. But that difficulty actually makes it enjoyable.
I got 'em, all of 'em.
This
You
peg
get
leg.
what I need, and I'll give 'em to you. Simple. You got a ship, could find 'em all to boot.
Who is that man?
Him? Some old salt always on about letters he's got from Captain Kidd. Nonsense, really, but he doesn't hurt no one, so I'll leave him be. Talk to him if you fancy, but be warned he'll chew your ear off. Anyway, the Aquila's here for you. If you should get a pang for the open sea, we'll be waiting.
So I'm assuming there's going to be missions, aren't
Up the
there?
hill before the old man comes out of retirement just for me.
Falconer knows that what Achilles was and is because he used to work the Assassins. So he obviously has a little bit of fear about him.
3 weeks, and not even a goodbye before you left.
Sorry.
So Achilles isn't happy with us.
What are you waiting for?
I don't know, what are we waiting for?
Put them on.
Oh wow. We are now getting our robes, our assassin uniform. I like the trousers. I like the trousers still are in keeping with his heritage.
Once upon a time, we had a ceremony on such occasions. But I don't think either of us are really the type for that. You've your tools and training, your targets and goals. And now you have your title. Welcome to the Brotherhood, Connor.
It looks a bit big on him. I think he'll grow into it. The day the Templars cried, trophy achieved. And memory is now synced. So I'm trying to see, so because you guys can't see the trophies, I do like to see what they mean when we earn them.
Welcome back, Desmond. You'll be happy to hear there's actually good news for once.
We're back in the real world.
Yeah? I've managed to locate a power source, and it's relatively close by. Up for a trip to Manhattan?
Is it safe to leave? Abstergo's
So
gotta
the
be
day the
looking for us.
Templars cried was complete sequence 5.
Can't exactly sit around here hoping to get lucky, though, can we? We need that power source. Besides, I'm sure you can cook up some way to hide our movements.
Maybe. The Templars have access to all kinds of satellites and camera systems. We'll need to find a way to mask our digital signature. I can probably camouflage the van, too. But there's not much I can do for us.
That's an easy one.
Looks like we're going to be miles for a little bit then. So new tools available in shops, rope darts, poison darts. We haven't really gone to a shop to actually discover any of these. Trip mines. There's lots of new tools available.
Local utility companies have assured the public that they're completely prepared for the upcoming...
Well, we are now Desmond Miles.
Disruptions to service are expected to be minimal.
If only they knew.
What's this?
A remote-operated camera. It'll provide us with a feed while you're on mission. This will let us talk to each other.
We're almost there, so listen up. The artifact is in an office penthouse in Lower Manhattan. At this time of night, direct infiltration is going to get you noticed. I think we're better off having you drop in from above.
What do you mean, above?
That's a parachute. Tutorial done. I don't know. I'm assuming so. I would assume that is a tutorial done. But I don't know for sure.
Can you hear me? Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yep, read you just fine. Now why don't you power up the camera? I've got pictures. Running diagnostics. Perfect. I've got a nice strong...
Doesn't seem like it's a strong signal. Right, we are Desmond. And by the looks of it, we need to infiltrate an area to acquire an artifact. I assume we're heading up. I know a lot of people dislike the Assassin's Creed games for the modern day parts. I actually don't mind them. I've never really had an issue with them. Because they do add more to the story. Okay. Am I just jumping across? Okay. Obviously try not to go the wrong way. I didn't want to do that. No, I died. I didn't mean for him to jump off like that. I thought he would stop, but he just ran off the edge. So, yeah, we've got to do the whole thing again. I thought he was going to stop at the edge, but instead he just ran off the edge instead. I didn't want to do that either. But yeah, I know people dislike the modern day stuff, but I actually like how it ties everything together. Gives you a reason. And obviously from what we've seen with Valhalla, and how the modern day bit of Valhalla ended, there's a lot more to come. Right, I'm going to be a bit more careful this time. So I need to jump to there, and then stop. Right, Where am I going this time? I'm jumping up, I think. There we go. I don't know why he went down last time, but he did. Okay. Not that way. Okay, looks like we're going out here.
Oh, that's hold still. That's a lovely view.
Seriously, Sean? Fuck you.
There's a bit of swearing. Right, I'm assuming this is where we jump to open a parachute. Would be my thinking. Am I not? I don't know. Maybe I'm going up. I kind of saw the one to the right and thought, okay. I think we're going up. I thought we was just going to jump out of a parachute then. My screen's frozen. Don't crash. I don't know if the game's frozen or not, but my screen is frozen. Oh, for more cutscenes over actual playing of the modern day characters. Yeah, no, I see your point. I suppose the cutscenes could do just as good a job as. I think the game's crashed. Because I can't do anything. Hang on. You want to get a blue screen for a second? Yeah, I think the game's crashed on me. I can't do anything. Which, with an autosave is fine. My biggest... the only thing is we have to restart the stream. To come out of this because I don't use a capture card. The capture card would enable you guys to see the same screen I see, and I could go back to my home screen, reload back in, and all be good. But because I don't use a capture card, because I don't have one, to restart the game, the stream will end. We had another half an hour left of the stream as well. I don't know whether it's worth restarting or just say, well, that's it for today. I don't know. What do you guys think? I can't get nothing works at this point. But yeah, the game is frozen. I'm hoping the autosave kicked in before we started climbing this bit, because obviously with an autosave, we've got no guarantee of where we're going to restart from. So we've got a choice. We can either quit the game, restart the stream, and do another half an hour, or we call it a day where it is now and come back tomorrow morning. That's the choice. I'm easy either way. But yeah, I can't, there's nothing I can do at this point. It's just a frozen screen. You can hear the wind and hear the police cars and sirens in the background. But yeah, so it's whatever you guys want to see. Do you want us to restart the stream and do another half an hour as originally planned, or do we just call it a day now and we'll carry on tomorrow? That's the question. You wouldn't mind trying to complete? That's fine. I'm happy to restart the stream. It's not a problem. Okay, what we'll do, we'll end the stream then. I'll restart the game and I'll start the stream back up. Obviously it'll be named live stream 3.5. I'd have to quickly fill in the YouTube side. We may even go a little bit longer. I may do another hour, depending how long this bit takes and all that kind of stuff. I'm kind of, when you're into it, you just want to carry on. For those of you that don't rejoin us, we are streaming tonight Assassin's Creed Valhalla Mastery Challenges. So if you don't rejoin us in a couple of minutes, we are live again tonight. And the channel update is live today at 3 o'clock. Right, I will end the stream and I will be restarting it in a couple of minutes. I'll see you all soon.